Virginia Tech won the toss and deferred. So Jared DeBelli putting the ball on the tee. And they have switched to Judd Dunleavy. So Judd Dunleavy will kick it off. Underway in Jacksonville. Fielded at the 4-yard line. And well defended short of the 20-yard line is ace running back Leon Washington. So Drew Weatherford is coming out. And let's go back in on the Jeff Bowden story here, Gary. What's your feeling about the coordinator and the difficulties that he has faced?
I think Jeff Bowden has to convince Drew Weatherford and his offense to pick up and understand the tempo of this game. Virginia Tech plays very quickly, and Florida State must match that tempo, and they must be physical.
Weatherford opens in the shotgun. Jeff telling us he's going to throw quickly. They're going to split it out early, and they complete the first pass of the game. That is over to the far side. He steps out of bounds for a 1st and 10. We have the Dr. Pepper Florida State starting lineup. Leon Washington, the starting tailback, already returned the opening kickoff. But here's the problem. The offensive line, 3 starters missing from that opening game against Miami. Mario Henderson will have his hands full at left tackle here today against this team. Dakota Fagg made the first reception, picking up the first down for the Noles. Here's Washington, a Jacksonville High School product here, and Aaron Rouse, the rover, up to make the stop for this very talented defense. Darryl Tapp, one of the best edge rushers in college football. 2 outstanding linebackers. Vince Hall is the team's leading tackler. And then in the defensive secondary, Jimmy Williams is number 1 on most NFL teams' boards, the senior corner from Hampton. 2nd down, Rouse, one of the wideouts, number 1 for the Noles. Weatherford, he hits Rouse. Incomplete's waved off. So Rouse, who appeared to have a reception, couldn't get the handle on it on the near side.
You know, that's one of the things that Florida State, I think, must do in this football game. That's make the routine plays. The easy pitch and catch, line up properly, don't be in motion. The easy plays that should be made. If you don't make those, you have no chance against this talented defense.
3rd down and long for the Noles. Up, fires complete for the first down. Just short of midfield. So Drew Weatherford, on his first series, put that ball in the hands of Willie Reid, Gary.
And against the best cover guy in this secondary, Jimmy Williams, who will be a number 1 draft pick. Watch, 5-step drop. Before the pressure can get there, that ball is thrown right on the shoulder pad. Jimmy Williams had no chance. Most of the time, Jimmy Williams, number 2 right there, will be locked up man-to-man to that receiver to the short side of the field.
That's a 17-yard gain for Weatherford, who's got plenty of time. This is what Jeff wanted to do. Go long to Carr, makes a juggling catch at the 15-yard line. Carr, who is one of the most talented freshman receivers in the country, can catch any kind of a pass, pulls it down for 38 yards. Gary, was he inbounds when he came down?
Well, Minor tipped the ball. And remember, Greg Carr is 6'6". The ball goes up, it's tipped.
Absolutely, 1 foot clearly down.
He's got it right now. The left foot is coming in. That's the next foot right here. 1 more foot. He's still bobbling it. Right there, he's got it in his left foot. Yes.
Center, Washington cut, slipped, lost a yard on that play, and Darryl Tapp the talented defensive end, wrapping him up.
Very fast track out here. Leon Washington is looking at his cleats right there, figuring out why he slipped. This is very fast surface.
Identifying the defensive back now, sending Washington out. And the umpire threw the first flag. Jack Childress' crew here.
Prior to the snap, there was a false start by number 79 of the offense.
That is Overmeyer, the right tackle, who moved. And a costly penalty. It brings him, Gary, back outside the 20.
Jimmy Williams, number 2, will play to the short side of the field. What he'll do is lock on down to the bottom and really tilt the rest of the defense to the wide side, playing man-to-man to the bottom. It's a defense, kind of a mix-up defense that not a lot of people show.
Chris Davis slotted to the left. They fire the tight end Henshaw over the middle, and he is stoned at the 18 by Vince Hall, an instinctive linebacker, number 9. 96 tackles on the season, and Bud Foster saying one of the most instinctive linebackers that he has been around.
When you watch Hall and Xavier Edeby, number 2, number 9, and number 11, those two inside linebackers play with the speed of an outside linebacker. They close space very quickly.
Reid is to the right. Davis still slotted. Draw, it's Washington. And a penalty flag thrown on the far side. Watch Tapp on this play.
Yeah, Darryl Tapp, one of the strongest point of attack defensive ends you will see in college football. He rushes the passer, but he also plays the run. His legs are strong. He's got great vision. He's one of those hybrids, 9 sacks, but he's not just a pass rusher. He plays the run as good as anybody in college football. That's another self-inflicted wound here for Florida State.
Offense, there were less than 7 players on the line of scrimmage. Illegal formation, that penalty is declined. 4th down.
You would think they'd go for the field goal, and they trot out onto the field right now. Gary Sismasha with the punter Hall. Miles Hodish is the snapper. Chris Hall the holder. This is a 31-yard field goal. And the underdog strikes first. So Gary Sismasha's field goal puts Florida State up by 3. And Jeff Bowden upstairs had a nice drive, shaking his head because it bogged down with a couple of penalties. The false start really hurt them. And also, Gary, Washington slipping a little bit on that turf.
Yes.
We were down there. It didn't seem slippery at all.
Not at all. And when you're running, and that's what happens when you're playing against very fast defensive players, you try to do a little too much. And I thought Leon Washington tried to do a little too much and kind of lost his footing there. But all in all, understand this for Florida State. When they score first this year, they have won every game. The 4 games they lost, the opponent team had scored first. They lost all 4 games.
Well, we welcome the rest of you who have been watching USC beat UCLA 66-19. Gary Danielson and Jack Arute. I'm Brett Musburger here in Jacksonville at the Dr. Pepper ACC inaugural championship game. Florida State took the opening kickoff, marched down, and settled for a 30-yard field goal. And now Graham Gano will kick it off, and we will see Marcus Vick and Virginia Tech with offense for the first time here. Eddie Royal and Josh Morgan, numbers 4 and 17, are back deep.
two of about 6 wide receivers that play for Virginia Tech who have game-breaking ability back there to return the kickoff.
Headed for Royal. Coming out from the goal line. Well short of the 20-yard line. And if nothing else, the Noles have brought some enthusiasm to this game. Here is Marcus Vick, younger brother of Michael. Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, will be working against this offense. What do we make of Mickey's defense here tonight?
Well, we'll see if he has confidence in those corners. If you want to get the ball out of Marcus Vick's hands quickly, you must attack him. Does Mickey Andrews have confidence in 2 young corners? Remember, Florida State is playing without their top 2 corners. Does he have the guts to go man-to-man and blitz?
Cedric Humes is their tailback. And right away, they go to the screen with Royal. Wide receiver screen for 9 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 1. And our Dr. Pepper lineup for Virginia Tech. So Cedric Hughes, there are 3 talented running backs. Emo is going to try it tonight. The offensive line, 2 all-ACC guards, and they are good ones. Will Montgomery and Jason Murphy. And they will have their hands full with a defensive tackle from Florida State by the name of Broderick Bunkley. The coach is telling us they must account for Bunkley on every play here tonight. 2nd down and 1. See if they go to power football. They do, and they certainly accounted for him that time. A 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Humes, the ball carrier, Buster Davis with the stop.
You look at this Virginia Tech offensive line, and the one word that you think of is power. They're strong, they're athletic, they have a lot of experience, and they are very, very confident that they can run the ball on anyone.
That was a great trap on Bunkley that time, and they just pushed him easily out of the way. McGrath, the center, moving over to make the block on him as Royal moves in motion. Against the 4-down lineman, the first sack of the night for the Noles, what Mickey Andrews wanted to turn loose. Boston, the defensive end, number 98, credited with the sack. And we check in with John Saunders. John?
Brent, just to let you know, it is a final, and Matt Leinart truly is the leader of the band. USC clobbers UCLA, Texas clobbers Colorado. As a result, we will see USC and Texas in the Rose Bowl unbeaten for the championship. Brent.
All right, John, and here we've just had a 7-yard loss, and it is 2nd down and 17. And down goes Humes this time, and in on him was Broderick Bunkley, one of the most talented defensive linemen in the country, folks. There are a number of scouts. I spoke with Bill Tobin earlier. They're going to be watching number 52, along with a lot of players on this field here tonight. The linebackers, A.J. Nicholson, the leading tackler on this team. He's the senior from Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Carter and Bryant are young corners. They were tested by the Gators. When this team lost Antonio Cromartie before the season began, it put heat on the youngsters. Have they grown up? Here is 3rd and 22, and so far, the Noles have been bringing the heat. Vick has to dance away, and they'll be forced to punt. Advantage Seminole defense, would you say, in this first series, Gary?
The first down play of that, after the first down, really cost Virginia Tech. They went for the home run ball, they got sacked, and they were never able to get back the down and distance again.
There's the old veteran coach. Here now, the punter for Virginia Tech, Nick Schmidt. He's a big fella. Goes up there around 260, and he's got a quick one-step release. This time he took a couple and banged it. And there's a whistle and a flag. Even if it is 5 yards against the Noles, it's not going to be a first down. But it's against the kicking team.
And against this Virginia Tech defense, every 5 yards you can get is an important 5 yards.
Number 49 of the offense, that's a 5-yard penalty. It's still 4th down.
Frank Beamer has never beaten Bobby Bowden. That's just one of those records. Lost a great national championship game to him in New Orleans. Michael Vick was the quarterback who brought them back from an early deficit and turned it into just a fabulous, fabulous football game. Frank and his staff do one of the best jobs in the country, as do the Bobby Bowden staff at Tallahassee. Willie Reid is back deep. He's going to let this one bounce, going to pick it up on a hop, going to gamble on it. And he wins out of bounds at the 49-yard line. And the 2-touchdown underdog Seminoles lead it by a field goal, 3-0. You should keep in mind that Virginia Tech has allowed only 10 points all season long in the first quarter. Only 10 points. Now with a short field, Weatherford attacks the far side, Reid, and that's good for about 6 yards. And we asked Drew what he expects from Virginia Tech here tonight.
I'm not really sure what to expect, to be honest. Every team we played late in the season have thrown curveballs at us, and you know, they played pretty fundamentally the whole season. They haven't blitzed too much, but that's not to say that they're not going to come and blitz every down against us.
Weatherford, who as a first-year starter for Florida State has improved as the season progresses. He has Lorenzo Booker as his running back flaring. He's a good receiver, but looking, throws it to him and threw it away as he was under enormous pressure. And Jagaroot, Weatherford is becoming the leader of this team, isn't he?
Indeed he is, Brent. In fact, last evening when the coaches were done going through the game plan with the team meeting, he asked the coaches to leave the room. He gathered the team and they closed the doors. Drew Weatherford was the only player to address the team. He got very tearful, and when they came out, the coaches tell me there was a team that was fired up and ready for action.
It's very unusual for a Bobby Bowden coach team to lose 3 games in a row and 4 overall as they have. No one around the ACC can figure that out. Weatherford fires high, incomplete, and Gary, what do you make of Weatherford so far?
Well, he's in control of his game. I think what he has to do early is avoid the sack and letting Virginia Tech feel like they got him. He's getting back. That's Jeff Bowden's game plan. He told us that on the field. He wants in there, quick, out of the pocket. I thought that was a catchable ball again. That's what I think Florida State is missing a little bit. Those easy plays that you expect your guys to make. Ball's a little high. Ball could have been caught. They're not making those plays this year.
So Chris Hall, the punt, and you saw return man Eddie Royal, who is very dangerous. This one goes in and out of the end zone. Pretty simple, right, Gary?
I think so, and I think that's what you have to do if you're Virginia Tech. You got a good defense, so Marcus Vick must be patient. Let the game come to him. He had 6 turnovers against Miami and a loss, and for defense for Virginia Tech, Florida State thrives on the big play. That's how they lost the last 2 games against the Seminoles. They cannot give up the deep bomb.
Mike Emo is in as the Hokie tailback. Here's his first carry of the night. There's a penalty flag. Penalty flag thrown by the umpire, which would indicate holding down there in that pit area, which is exactly what it is.
Challenge of this football game is that Florida State front 7. They must pressure and stick Michael Vick, and they must stop the run. Get it into a passing game where they have a chance to win the game. Last week,
holding number 72 of the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's Murphy, Gary, a very good guard.
Yes, all ACC guard. Last week, when Virginia Tech was struggling in the first half against North Carolina, they came back in the second half and ran it and ran it and ran it. Florida State cannot let that happen or they lose the football game.
Bunkley will line up as the weak side defensive tackle for Florida State. Montgomery and McGrath looking at him. He's doubled. Release good to Royal. And he is driven out of bounds on the far side. So Dr. Pepper ACC Championship on ABC Sports brought to you by Diet Cherry Vanilla Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Tastes so good you'll get lost in it. Cadillac introducing the new 2006 DTS. Cadillac Breakthrough. IBM, become an on-demand business. IBM can help. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. That was some fireworks.
Sure
display
was.
on the river last night, wasn't it?
Florida State says 4 strong. Michael Vick likes to scramble to the wide side of the field.
Nothing doing. They read it perfectly. They knew that Marcus likes to run out of that formation.
Did I say Michael already?
Don't worry about it, partner. I'll say it 3. A.J. Nicholson in Boston. Let me tell you, I was thinking about USC, Texas. Well, I put old Keith and Mr. Fouts, I put them in Pasadena already, and they're in the Coliseum. Don't worry about it. I'll call him Michael a half dozen times.
Marcus has earned the right, the all-ACC quarterback, to be to get his name right.
He's back in the shotgun, Gary, this time. Sims moves up into the gap, and now he backs away as a linebacker. Constantly moving from the gun. Deflected. Incomplete, and a great play by the defensive end that time, Timmons. And there is a flag on the play.
That Florida State front 4, when they know it's a passing situation, they get after you. 35 sacks they've had this year.
The ruling on the field, that was a forward pass, incomplete, but there was a illegal participation foul against the defense. 12 men participating.
That'll do it for your defense.
Yeah,
I mean, they're toughing up with 11.
That 4-3-5 defense is tough to stop.
I don't know if Mickey and the Bear put that together when he was playing for it up there in Alabama.
You don't know. No, we know Florida State's a little down, but not that down.
Exactly. No, if you could see them extra players here, folks.
And you know, there's no arguing from Florida State at all. They knew it. They knew it.
So that's a first down. Result of that penalty. The ball comes out to about the 25-yard, or make it the 35-yard line, I should say. First and 10. Emo is still the running back. Use an H-back look, and here is Emo. Fumble! Noles have got it, I believe. No, he might have given it back. Hold on till they unpile. It should have been Florida State ball, but they might not have been able to secure it. It was loose underneath. Jack Childress, the referee, in on top of the big fellas right now. Roger Williams came up and jarred the ball loose.
Well, I tell you, it looked to me like Jeff King came up with the ball, number 90.
Yes. Florida State had the ball originally, but they bobbled it.
Yep.
Okay.
Had a clean.
Watch this now.
Had a clean fumble recovery and did not handle it. It's out cleanly out. Watkins gets a hit right on the ball right there. There. Oh, look at that. And Llewellyn has a cast on his left hand, and that's why he did not handle the ball. And then King came in and get the ball. See the cast from Llewellyn? That caused the play. Williams did a great job of jarring that ball loose. Second down and 10. Marcus back in the pocket. Almost intercepted. Broken up by number 15, Tony Carter. Well, that's the key to the game for Florida State, I think. In the secondary, can they match up? You mentioned Cromartie. Gerald Ross is also out. He started 7 games. They're going with a freshman, Tony Carter, and a true sophomore, J.R. Bryant. Can they match all game against these explosive receivers for Virginia Tech? Or can they cut the head off the snake and go right at Marcus Vick and not allow him to get the ball downfield? Brandon Orr, perhaps the fastest of the tailbacks, is now to Marcus's right. Close in, they force him out of the pocket. Sims coming after him, and he throws it. A beautiful catch
at the 29-yard line by
Justin Harper caught that one, I believe it was. Justin Harper, watch Vick get out of the pocket right here. He buys time. Harper tunes upfield. He steps out of bounds, though, and I don't know if he was pushed out of bounds. There's the referee with no hat. He made a call that Harper stepped out of bounds before he caught this ball. If he wasn't pushed out on that play, the ball is snapped. Remember, it's over. Great play by Marcus Vick to avoid the rush.
Here is Orr doing nothing. He is stopped right in the middle. And A.J. Nicholson, the leading tackler on this team, stops Brandon Orr. But, I thought for a moment, Gary, that Marcus Vick was going to throw the ball out of bounds, and that's what he was doing. He was in trouble.
Yeah,
and then he spotted that
81.
receiver. He saw him.
Saw big 81.
Let Harper have a shot.
Watch number 81 right here. He goes out and steps out of bounds right here without. Yeah, the hand was on him though. The hand was on him.
That's right. They come back to the H-back that time. John Kinzer, the tight end, makes the big reception. J.R. Bryant makes the stop. Well, the NFL lineup Sunday and Monday looks like this on ESPN, the Raiders and the Chargers. Chargers driving for a playoff spot, and the Seahawks and the Eagles on Monday night, and the Seahawks also driving for the playoffs in the NFC. Or not much doing, but he was just trying to bang ahead for the first down. Buster Davis is there.
Let's talk a little bit about this Florida State defense. Gave up a lot of points against Florida last week. It looked bad, but only 284 yards in offense by Florida. And in the last 6 games, 5 teams has rushed the ball in the first half for less than 40 yards. So Florida State has the ability to step up and force the passing game. The question is, can they stop the passing game? Marcus Vick now 3 for 4.
I want to go back on that wide receiver being pushed out of bounds, because we just had that in the Michigan-Ohio State game. The Ohio State receiver making the big play. Completely legal in college football if contact forces you out of bounds. Not legal in the National Football League. Ball has to be touched before that man becomes an eligible receiver. Just so you know, and you're wondering about that rule, because I know you've seen that unfold in a variety of ways in college and the NFL. This was perfectly legal. Brandon Orr is stopped. The line of scrimmage. This will be about 2nd down and 10 coming up. Aerial coverage for our game, courtesy of the Outback Steakhouse Airship Bloomin' Onion. The Outback Steakhouse Airship specializes in college football and PGA golf coverage. Look for the Bloomin' Onion at sporting events throughout the year. Just a fabulous, fabulous night for football here in Jacksonville. I'm sure all the Dr. Pepper folks are delighted at what they've got. So many of their executives and employees from up and down the East Coast are here and enjoying all the festivities. They'll try to give away $1 million at halftime. Jackaroo will have that. 2nd down. Now was a loss of a yard on that last play. Marcus eluding traffic, cuts back and makes the 10. There's a penalty flag. Davis brought him down. A penalty flag near the end of that run. The Noles are indicating that it is against Virginia Tech. Holding is the call. That nullifies a big run by Vick.
Well, I tell you, Vick, it looks like the defenders have an angle on him, and just like older brother Michael, Marcus has that ability. Looks like he's glided, and they just don't pick the proper angle to get him.
2nd down for Marcus Vick. Cedric Humes is the running back. So, play fake from Marcus. Down at the 28, and here is a close-up of young Marcus Vick. I think you'll be entertained by it.
My favorite television show is the Jamie Foxx Show, because it's just hilarious. The first car I ever owned was a Cadillac Escalade. When I was a kid playing football, I used to pretend that I was Randall Cunningham because he was just a great athletic quarterback.
Cadillac Escalade. It's nice to have a rich brother.
Yeah. I started out with an Escalade too, didn't you? I'm hoping to get one. Couple more hard years of work here.
Third down and 19. Marcelo Church. Vick throws in zone. Battle for the ball, incomplete. And he was intending for Josh Hyman. J.R. Bryant, number 18, with very, very good coverage.
Yeah, Josh Hyman did a nice job coming back for that ball. Was slightly underthrown. Is that deep cover 2 defense. Hyman tries to step underneath, and Bryant makes a play on the ball. Nice job by Hyman. You see Marcus Vick as he lets that ball go. Another stick Vick. That is the game plan all night. Stick Vick.
And you know the Noles, they'll play through that whistle. Brandon. And Pace's field goal attempt.
Skitters
ties it. Woo! 3-3. And the BCS got this one right. Can't blame them this time around. This is Washington from the 5-yard line. First seam, and he is out to the 27-yard line.
Both aggressive football teams, both trying to show the other team they're dominant. A lot of flags early in this football game. Officials are trying to keep control of it. Take a look at what I think Florida State needs to do. So far in this game, they've only won the ball 3 times for 2 yards. I think the way their defense is playing, they need to run the ball more. They can't put it all on a freshman quarterback. And of course, on defense, they have to get to Marcus Vick.
Davis, the slot receiver, to Weatherford's right. Play fake to Booker. And incomplete. And Weatherford goes down in the arms of Ellis. Ellis was all over him.
You can see it right there. Drew Weatherford hit pass early. It's kind of ran a little good news, bad news for Drew Weatherford. He passed Chris Ricks, and he's closing in on Phillip Rivers. As you can see him get sacked here. Gets rid of the ball just before he gets sacked, or he would have gotten sacked. But, you know, there's no guarantee. If you have a great freshman, you're going to be great like Phillip Rivers. Chris Ricks never really emerged.
Second down and 10. Here comes Booker swinging wide to the left. Pounded out of bounds by Aaron Rouse. The rover back coming up hard to make the stop.
Boy, impressed with that guy getting up right away, isn't it? He got hit pretty hard and he just popped right back up on the sideline.
Tough staff.
Tough staff.
You see Bud Foster look at him.
Exactly.
Get him.
Let's go. You're in charge of substitutions. Make sure you get over here.
Gain of 2 yards. It's third down and 8.
I believe they need to change the down marker over there.
We got it right. They got it wrong on the field.
Weatherford fires. Got it. First and 10, and again he goes to the tall, talented youngster, Greg Carr.
You know, Greg Carr was really struggling the last couple weeks with a hip pointer, and you can see he leads the ACC with 9 touchdown passes. Why he's so good. A big target, not afraid to come across the middle. Just put it in the vicinity, and he could find that football.
Drew Weatherford has improved dramatically since that first night against Miami. As the first quarter comes to an end, Weatherford goes back into the gun. Foster showing blitz. They're coming after him. He gets it off, and it was dropped. Incomplete. Well, it is the kind of game that we expected Florida State to show up with here tonight. We'd have been disappointed if they had.
Come on. Now, these are highly recruited players.
Absolutely.
That come to play for a national championship. There have been some injuries. But that injury area on the offensive line has come through so far. They have not been sacked. And I think Jeff Bowden's game plan, I thought he should have ran the ball. He's gambling. He's throwing the ball, and the offensive line has not given up a sack yet. So far, Jeff and Bobby's game plan has paid off.
His wide receivers have been wide open. Booker on the draw, that inside shuttle pass, and read beautiful. I'll tell you, Rouse is one of the best hitting safeties we've been around. Jack, update us on the coach over there on the sideline. He gets rolled on right here by Booker.
Yeah, watch Big Charlie Wiles, the defensive line coach, go, you know what, over tea kettle. Well, that's not the first time that's happened to him this week. He already has a giant cast on his left foot because he was rolled over like that in practice on Wednesday and suffered some strained ligaments, and I was kidding him before the game. I said, you better get out of the way. They're going to be fast tonight.
That's good homework by you, Jack, to go up to Blacksburg and be able to fill us in on that story, partner. 3rd down and 10.
Penalty, another self-inflicted one by Florida State. They had a chance to score a touchdown after the big catch on the sideline, and they had 2 penalties. Now here's another one.
Prior to the snap, there was a false start. Number 68 of the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
They're down at 15.
Needing 15.
49.
Carr is split out to the left. Davis is the slot man. Williams shows bump and run, but not. They're going to go deep now to Carr. Jump ball. Carr couldn't quite run under it. He was defended by Macho Harris. Number 1, the corner who brings a lot of attitude.
Victor Macho Harris, number 1, is a true freshman, the only true freshman playing for Virginia Tech this year. Frank Beamer's been able to redshirt the entire class except for the very talented Victor Harris. Highly sought after and a big get for Virginia Tech. He's a very talented football player.
All punting, and Royal is back deep. Short punt. Just off the side of his foot, went out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Big Bunkley runs right through the all-ACC guard, Jason Murphy, and forces Marcus Vick to kind of stop in his tracks, and that's why he was double-teamed. Bunkley gets half a sack on that one.
Josh Morgan's been quiet. He's slotted to Vick's right. Vick rolls in that direction with the pocket. He's going to take off. Short of the 1st down, short of the 30-yard line. Buster Davis, the linebacker, leading the defense against him. Time now for our Aflac trivia question. And folks, if you know, well, we got an injured player. Hold on here a second. Got an injured defensive player down in the field.
I can't quite see who it is yet.
Looked to me like it might have been Marcelo Church.
Yeah, backup linebacker. All the linebackers rotate in. They go 6 deep, and it was Marcelo Church right there. 3rd and long. You're not going to scramble for 17 yards against this speed.
Okay, here's your Aflac trivia question, and if you know the answer, folks, you are a trivia expert. Go to the head of your class. Florida State's defeated Virginia Tech 11 consecutive times. Who were Florida State's head coach and quarterback the last time they lost? This is a toughie. So here, Virginia Tech and Florida State are tied at 3. And a reminder, Saturday at 2 Eastern, 3 Pacific, singular, ABC Sports All-America show. We'll meet the finest players in the country at 2 Eastern time next Saturday. And that does not look good for Church. Let's hope that he's going to be all right, receiving some medical attention down there.
Last time Florida State really hurried the punt, and it was not a good one.
Nick Schmidt is the punter. Willie Reid is back.
Beauty.
Got it at the 29. Reid down at the 40-yard line. Nick Leeson, the snapper, able to get downfield. He was uncovered and make the stop. Well, the BCS, you know, I mentioned it. They got it right this year. Now, keep this in mind. Before all of this nonsense started, these two teams at the top would not have met. That's right. USC would have been going to the Rose Bowl against the Big Ten, and Texas would have been going on into the Fiesta Bowl to play somebody. So in those years when we beat them up, and I've joined the chorus, banging as loudly as anybody, we got to give them credit this year. That is a dandy championship game. I think it's going to be one of the most anticipated college football games in history. Now here's a question for the class. Who will be favored and by how much? Think about that one for a minute, okay? We're away.
You know, with those two teams, you don't even need computers. Just a legal yellow pad could solve this one.
Personal fouls, number 35 of the defense, and a personal foul, number 76 of the offense. Those fouls all set. We replay 4th down.
That is not a break for Virginia Tech because they have to punt again. And both of these teams in these punt situations are capable of a big play.
Man, Gary, what do you think? Trojans are home. Pasadena's a little bit of a comfort zone, not their home field, so they're going to have to be the favorite, aren't they, over Texas?
Slight.
Texas is awfully good.
Slight. I leave those favored things to you. You're better at it than I am. Your reputation far precedes me on this stuff.
I was just trying to get a little outside advice, you know.
I know.
A little help from my friends.
Coming after him.
Schmidt, he does get it off. The Noles have blocked the punt in each of the last 2 games. That is a beautiful punt. There's a penalty flag.
Yeah, another one.
5 yards short of where he was, and there's another penalty flag at about the 40-yard line.
Probably be holding against Florida State on the return because it happened downfield that time. That was a great punt, wasn't it? Under pressure.
Beautiful. He's a terrific punter. It was 55 yards.
And he does it quickly, too. Yep, usually happens in the returns like that.
Yep. So what didn't look like advantage Virginia Tech wound up being an edge for them.
We have holding number 22 of the receiving team.
What a great defense.
The 10-yard penalty is administered from the end of the kick. Receiving team retains the ball, 1st and 10.
Just take a look at that, folks. Allowing the number that I think is the most important is points per game. 10.6. All right. Now this year, they have given up only 13 points in that first quarter. Remember, we told you back then that they've given up only a total of 10. So this is some fabulous defense.
They have not had a 100-yard rusher against them all year. 99 yards was the most anyone has rushed against them all year, and that was by Marshall's Ahmed Bradshaw.
There was Bud Foster. He's the coordinator on that sideline. He's deserving of some very serious consideration as a head coach someplace. Here is Washington on the draw, splits out. That's their best run of the day. There's an 11-yard run for a 1st and 10, and the offensive line did the job.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, Leon Washington, he really likes this stadium and rushed for 195 last time here in the Gator Bowl.
Let's check in with Jack Arute.
Well, a lot of people thought Washington would opt out for the NFL, this year, but he returned, he said, for 2 reasons. One, he said he rushed for 200 yards in FSU's Gator Bowl game, he'd leave. Well, he didn't. He said he rushed for 195 yards. Then he got a letter from the NFL screening committee that said if they stayed, he'd be a higher draft pick.
Yeah, and here he is trying to. There are an awful lot of scouts in here tonight, Jack, watching players on both sides, linemen, defensive backs. Lewis made that stop for Virginia Tech. We've got just an enormous number of youngsters on the Virginia Tech team that are going to be playing Sunday football. So there's one of them right there, Tap.
Yeah, they've got a couple linemen, a couple linebackers, and 2 or 3 secondary players that will all play in the NFL on that defense.
But short of the 1st down. And coming up was Brandon Flowers, a young corner, number 18, making the stop.
Well, Drew Weatherford got beat up so bad last week. Well, watch this against a pretty good defensive line. Watch this offensive line for Florida State. They seal it up, no pressure at all. Quick release by Weatherford. The game plan is fitting together. If that offensive line continues to keep that Virginia Tech front four offer.
Henderson at left tackle starting today is doing an admirable job against Tapp. Weatherford this time's in deep trouble. Got it off, first down. A brilliant save that time by Weatherford, and he hit Willie Reid for the first down with Tapp. Just as I was bragging on Henderson, they may have flopped Tapp that time away from him.
Well, you can see Weatherford should have been sacked. The strongest defensive lineman for Virginia Tech has a freshman quarterback. He tries to wrap him up, and Weatherford just throws the ball before the sack. It picks up a huge first down.
And Tapp had moved over to the Overmeyer side that time. Now he's cocked far outside. Weatherford high and incomplete. Davis was the intended receiver. Well, here we go. And not even college expert Gary Danielson could remember the answer to this one. All right, Florida State's head coach and quarterback the last time they lost. This was the year before Bobby Bowden became head coach. Darrell Mudra and Clyde Walker. I'm telling you, you're a pro, and there is Coach Mudra back in 74, 75, and Bobby Bowden succeeded him. Second down and 10. Whistle before the snap.
The pressure of the attacking defense has Florida State making error after error on that offensive line, and another false start.
False start, number 75 of the offense at the 5-yard penalty.
You know, that's Henderson.
Yep.
False start, that left tackle spot.
You know, and he's playing because Corey Niblock injured, starting offensive tackle. There's been a lot of shifting, mixing and matching. Brent told you about it. You know, Mario Henderson started the Orange Bowl as a freshman against Miami a couple years ago, and now waited his turn. He's back in there again.
Niblock and Meinrad lost for injuries. Then Frady, the backup, went out. Then Lewis got kicked out of the first half of this game for punching someone in the Florida game. He will be playing in the second half. He's in uniform. Weatherford under pressure, and that will be short of the first down as he hits his tight end Carter.
Just get the feeling that Virginia Tech is getting the feel of how Florida State is trying to attack them. They're squatting more on the short passes. I think Seminoles, Jeff Bowden are going to have to go deep again with those tall receivers and kind of back this defense up a bit, because they are starting to squat on all those short throws.
Rouse, there's Williams squatting, and he has been all game. He'll play you bump and run. That's the only way he knows. Rouse, the safety, has 7 tackles, and he comes up to press. Hit on the release, incomplete, and Carr should have hung on, even though Flowers thinks he should have had an interception.
Yeah, well, last week, Drew Weatherford threw an interception just like that ball against Florida, right through the receiver's hands for an INT. You can't throw it any better than that. Virginia Tech comes with everyone, plays man-man coverage, and they just trust that Florida State will throw the ball short, and they could not pitch and catch it.
Ball back to punt again. Here's Royal at the 24. He's down at the 36-yard line, so that's where Brandon Orr is the running back alongside Marcus. Play fake, here comes Marcus, going to try to dance out, and he can't, because defensive end DJ Norris brings him down. Our Pacific Life game summary here, Gary.
Well, early in this football game, Marcus Vick showed that he can throw the ball. Neither team has been able to run the football in this football game. Too many great athletes, and the play of the game so far was kind of an alley-oop pass that Carr got, but then 2 penalties afterwards, no one even close to the end zone.
David Clowney, number 87, has been very quiet for Virginia Tech. He is off to the left. Here's second down. Vick looks in that direction, going to try to find him. Connie broken up, incomplete. So they tried to get to their leading wide receiver, and J.R. Bryant, number 18, defended it.
David Clowney's the fastest football player on Virginia Tech's team. In fact, he was recruited by Florida State on a track scholarship, not football. You can see the ball is underthrown. Clowney had another 5 or 6 yards. He could have got it. Vick did not lay it out far enough.
Mickey Andrews continues to rotate defensive players. Third down. Jeff King has been used mainly as a blocker tonight. He's the tight end on the right side of the formation. He releases. Vick backfires. Caught. First down near midfield. And they put it in the hands of Josh Morgan.
You could pre-read this, and I'm sure Marcus Vick did. Florida State just tipped it off. They were coming on the blitz. It was strong inside technique by the corner and just a nice route and a throw to the outside exactly the way you teach it. Boy, Mickey Andrews is really challenging receivers. A lot of man-to-man in this game. He is challenging his young corners to keep Florida State in the football game.
Royal is off to the left. Morgan to the right. And the running play by Orr is stuffed by Sam McGrew, backup linebacker. The other thing that Mickey Andrews is doing, he is using a lot of players here in the first half. He has gone too deep across the entire front. His corners are the only players who have gone on every snap so far. Carter and Bryant have gone the distance, along with the safety, Watkins. Now Orr is out of the backfield, and Humes is lined up as the running back. Marcus pump fakes, takes off, and he is stopped after about a yard gain by Nicholson. Well, a reminder now, coming up at halftime, Chip Craver there from Columbia, South Carolina. Will have a chance to win $1 million in the Dr. Pepper Championship Challenge. And Bridget, his lovely wife, alongside, asked Chip if he was nervous, and he said, I've been nervous all day. Third down. Gino Toretta, the one-time Heisman Trophy winner from Miami, has been his passing advisor for this Dr. Pepper competition. He's not nervous. Drops it off to the side. And using one of the big fellas, Jesse Allen that time as a receiver. Tyler Hall, the rover for Mickey Andrews' defense.
You could see Buster Davis, number 7, was over there jawing after the play. Sims, the linebacker, coming from the outside. A lot of times, this time he's in the spy position for Marcus Vick. He looks like he's going to pass rush, and then he comes over and cleans up the play. So he fakes the blitz, spies on Vick, and comes across and cleans up on the tackle.
So Schmidt into punt again. Willie Reid is back deep, and you'll have to watch the Noles to see if they can apply some heat. The first of these two great special teams to block a punt might have the upper hand. They're going to set the return. Fair catch, a signal for the lets it go to the end zone. And yes, the player was in, reaching out to touch it. And it'll come out on the 20-yard line. There's Williams with his press coverage for the defense. Here's Booker trying the left side. And Jack, what's the situation with Carr?
Well, Greg Carr took a little bit of time to go in the locker room during that series when Vatek was on the offense. He has a hip pointer that he's been suffering from for the last couple of games. The athletic training staff did a little work on him, and he's back and cleared to go back into action.
All right, Jack, and the nickel man comes in. Flowers for Virginia Tech. Booker stays in. Good receiver out of the backfield. Second down and long. Rouse, Davis is slotted. Flowers will take the slot man. Complete for a first down. He's going to get the spot. That's going to be a 1st and 10. Weatherford throws for it.
Boy, Virginia Tech was trying to force their receivers inside. They call it a robber defense. 2 safeties play. Watch, the safety's going to play short, and the safety's going to play long. And all these man-to-man players are trying to force the receiver inside. Look at the nice route by Florida State. Beautiful throw before the robber could get there. That is nice pitch and catch.
That is the 8th tackle for Aaron Rouse, the safety, who has been the standout defensive player of the game so far. Weatherford to Davis, his first catch of the night to the 36-yard line, and this will put him in 2nd and short. Vince Hall, the linebacker, with the stop. I can't tell you how much Drew Weatherford has improved as a passer when he gets time from game 1 against Miami. He looked like a lost puppy out there in that opener. Bottom of the hour here, Virginia Tech and Florida State in Jacksonville. This is your Dr. Pepper ACC Championship. Winner, BCS bid. They will head on down to the Orange Bowl in all likelihood. Experts think they'll play Penn State. Here is Booker. Booker picked up a couple of yards before he was driven out by Jimmy Williams.
Well, you just don't see the Tech defenders fall down a lot. When they get blocked, they keep their feet. Florida State is throwing at their legs. They use their hands. They got great balance all across. The linebackers, the secondary, the safety men all do a great job of keeping their feet.
Carr is back in. Bud Foster goes back to the base 4-3 for Virginia Tech. Tapp is lined up at right defensive end against Henderson. And Henderson does a good job with his big frame. Throw is high, incomplete. He overthrew Booker that time. And Ellis, the defensive end, gave Weatherford a leg.
Yeah, the pass rush saved Virginia Tech that time. Had Carr coming across the middle. One guy crosses, but watch this guy coming across second. He was wide open, but Weatherford didn't have a chance. First guy comes across, second guy could have popped it right in there to him. Didn't have a chance, had to dump it. That's a pass rush that really saved the play.
Now let's see what Virginia Tech tries to do with this punt. Like Florida State, they're experts at the block. Royal fields it. And try to get wide left. Short of the 25-yard line. So the St. Johns River, one of the few in the United States that flows from south to north here. The lovely lights. You look down from the Outback Steakhouse blimp. Those are the great views being provided. The Bloomin' Onion One flying high above Alltel Stadium. This was remodeled, completely redone for the old Gator Bowl. They did a superb job. There are great sight lines in this stadium. And the old coach, when he puts on a headset, he's going to offer up a little advice upstairs to son Jeff. That's always the indication for the old coach. Play fake now by Marcus, fires incomplete. Probably should have been caught. Jeff King was the intended receiver. Well, let's get some inside access here from Ernie Sims, number 34, the linebacker for Florida State.
He has incredible speed. You know what I'm saying? He runs like a 4.2 or whatever. And when he runs the ball, he really wants to scramble. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to pass the ball. The main goal this week is to put a lot of big hits on him to make him cough with the ball.
Have they been doing that, Gary?
They
Getting
have,
some licks on him?
and they've not let him get out in space and make plays with his feet.
They're going to run the toss play this time. Fumble! And Virginia Tech falls on it. That is the second fumble forced tonight by Roger Williams. Cedric Humes, the ball carrier, and Williams forcing his second fumble of the night, but the Noles cannot come up with it.
Yeah,
it was recovered by Jeff King, the tight end again.
That's his second. Roger Williams, one of 3 safeties to play for Florida State, but watch Buster Davis. Number 7, the middle linebacker, turns it in, and then boom, helmet right on the ball, and Jeff King finds it and grabs it. Marcus Vick has to be very careful here.
Third down and long. That time comes back middle, and it is complete for the first down. He puts it, hits David Clowney from Delray Beach, Florida. Picks up the 1st and 10. That's a 15-yard gain, Gary.
Marcus Vick had time to pump fake to the left, and that's what opened that zone that time. Watch, he looks left, he pump fakes left, and then he comes back. That moves the zone, and is able to pick up the 1st down.
Nicholson falls into pass defense for Mickey Andrews this time. Vick going to flare. And he steps out of bounds for a 1st and 10. Cedric Hughes. And let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John?
Alongside of Craig James and Aaron Taylor. Last year there were 3 trying to fit into 2 holes. This year we only got 2, and we know who they are.
We know exactly where they're supposed to be here, and it's USC that has the experience. That's going to mean a big difference getting ready for the game.
In Texas, are they going to play tight or are they going to be loose? Focus, focus, focus. How are they going to handle the pressure? We'll talk about that at halftime. Brent, back to you.
We are deadlocked in Jacksonville at 3. 1st down and 10. Low snap. Picked up by Marcus. Fired, and he's hitting his receivers now. That's a 12-yard gain and a 1st and 10, and he has found Mr. Clowney.
Well, Florida State has gone into a little zone look now. For the first quarter and a half, they were attacking, playing man-to-man on the outside. Now with 1:30 to go, Mickey Andrews has dialed up the zone, and Marcus Vick has found the holes in it. Zone again.
There's that 3-man defensive line. It's like working against a prevent for Marcus.
Yep, sure is.
And a whistle prior, the umpire.
Remember we saw the end of the Miami game when Kyle Wright took it right down the field? He did it against that 3-man zone look, and Marcus Vick feels very comfortable throwing against the zone. Remember, Miami.
Number 52 of the offense with a 5-yard penalty. It's still 1st down.
And they matched up against Miami. It was all man-to-man, and that's what caused the problems for Marcus.
So Martin, the left tackle, moves. And here at the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship Game, Virginia Tech and Florida State are deadlocked at 3. The first real close game of the day as Georgia moves into a BCS Bowl. They will play in the Sugar Bowl, which is moved to Atlanta. Low snap to Marcus Vick. Picks it up, goes deep, incomplete. Double covered Royal was that time. Not much of a chance to squeeze it in. Carter and Watkins, the 2 defenders.
See, that deep zone really isn't going to allow. That isn't man-to-man. It was a misread, and Watkins, the safety, or whether it's Kyler Hall or Roger Williams, is able to get, after the ball is thrown with their speed, get to those deep balls.
2nd down and 15 for Tech. Montgomery has moved over to center. He started the game at left guard. He is now the center. Showing blitz. Coming after Marcus. On the release, forced to throw it away. The 2nd down blitz.
And they're going to call roughing the passer, or are they going to call intentional grounding on the play? It's going to be one of the 2. No, it looks like they're just checking to see Jack Childress whether it's intentional grounding. I bet he picks this flag up.
Timmons bringing the heat that time for the Noles.
There's a comeback route to the outside. Good job. Everybody's talking, everybody discussing it on the officiating crew.
Intentional grounding. Number 5 of the offense. Penalty is lost down. It's the spot of the pass. 3rd down. Clock will start. We're ready for play.
You can see the outside receiver to the outside. Number 81, Justin Harper, runs a comeback route to the outside. The ball's thrown, goes over his head. You see Vick point. Frank Beamer's very upset, but did not get the call.
Second down, now it becomes third and a bunch. Three wide for Marcus. And Mickey Andrews will go with the 4-down lineman look with the backers dropping way off. Now Sims pulls out 2. They're going to get to him. And complete, but not even back to the original line of scrimmage. Clowney was caught 3 passes on this series.
Yeah, Marcus had to make a miraculous play against a 3-man rush even to get the ball back to the original line of scrimmage on that play. Intentional grounding, watch this. All-out blitz comes. Marcus Vick knows he doesn't have time. He has to get rid of it. Throws the ball to the outside, and the receiver right there is coming inside. Ball goes over his head. Intentional grounding.
The old coach, 30th year, Florida State. And Frank's still upset.
Mad. Yes, he is.
He wants Jack over there.
He wants an explanation of that. The receiver went inside. Usually when you throw the ball that far downfield, you don't get an intentional grounding. Receiver was out there. He went in. Ball went over his head. But, hey, they talked it over. You ain't going to get that call picked up again now. Interesting. Would you go for it 18 seconds to go in the half here?
Yeah, because I don't think you want to risk a blocked punt.
Right, it might be safer to go
safer. It's much safer to run the ball, isn't it, in this situation?
Or try to pick it up.
You talk about Virginia Tech under Frank Beamer, 108 blocked punts and kicks. Well, let me tell you something, folks. Under Bobby Bowden, Florida State has 110 blocked punts and field goals, and they have blocked 5 punts this season, and 1 in each of the last 2 games against Virginia Tech.
One was a national championship game,
Absolutely.
and the other, remember that one?
And the Gator Bowl right here. They blocked a punt. So the safer thing to do is exactly what the Hokies are coming up with here. You're going to take a crack. Good as a punt, even if it's intercepted. Incomplete.
Actually a smart play by Florida State not to intercept that ball. They get the ball back now all the way at the line of scrimmage. So that was a good try by Virginia Tech with 12 seconds to go.
It gives Weatherford and Carr 12 seconds for the alley-oop now.
Yeah, well, both teams, one had an alley-oop, didn't work. Now Florida State's going to get an alley-oop. Actually, with 3 timeouts left for Florida State, they could throw one in about 18 yards and try to take a shot at a field goal, too.
They're going to send... Reid is coming out.
Looks like they're going to take a knee.
They're going to take a knee and go to the locker room. They're satisfied. And a reminder tomorrow, find out where everybody goes on the Selection Sunday show on ABC. The mystery will come to an end. I saw... So Florida State scored first, if you joined us late. On their opening drive, they kicked a field goal. All right, Jack, and John Swafford did a terrific job of building this conference to what it is now. And on the move, rolling right, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. So, Gary, what's out of whack today?
Well, come on, if you're a college football fan, you know what's out of whack. 70 points, 66 points, and we get 6.5. But a great football game.
And for one of those rare times, Coach Bobby Bowden is a 2-touchdown underdog. 363 games, folks. He's been a double-digit underdog only 9 times, according to the Gold Sheet. They keep those kind of stats. 2nd down and 10. Inside handoff. And tough for anybody. That was Cedric Humes, who starts the second half. And Jack, what did Coach Beamer have to say?
Well, he wasn't very happy with the play of his offense. What he said to me is he said he wanted to try and get Marcus Vick to the outside and have him do a little bit more passing. But he also said, I want to establish the rushing game. So he said he's going to try and rush and then try and go a little to the outside in the second half, guys.
All right, he has Morgan off to Vick's left. High and incomplete, and very lucky that the safety, Pat Watkins, didn't catch it. So just quickly before the punt, let's check in with John in New York.
Well, Brent, who is your player of the year? The nominees are Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart of USC, Notre Dame's Brady Quinn, and Vince Young of Texas. Text the word VOTE to 87654 on your Singular wireless phone to cast your ballot for your Singular All-America Player of the Year. You could win a trip to the National Championship Game. The Singular ABC Sports All-American Team Show is on December the 10th at 2 Eastern Time. Right.
Reid's got the punt to the 45 midfield. Reid's in a foot race for the end zone. The game's first touchdown.
Florida State has lived with the big play against Virginia Tech in the past. It's either been a block kick, a long pass, and now a punt return.
Sismation adds the extra point.
And this was a fabulous punt outside the numbers. Virginia Tech should have been able to cover this. You can see it, makes guys miss, and then a big block, and that's all it's needed. You get one guy to crease, and the speed of Reid just makes it and turns the field upside down for our first touchdown of the game. Boy, you knew it was going to bust somewhere. You just didn't know who was going to bust first. And Florida State found a way to do it with the kicking game. Look at that punt. Outside the numbers. Goes by a stationary offensive lineman, and then once he cuts it upfield, no one's going to get him.
So from the blimp, you just saw DJ Norris, number 82, drop back and throw a block, and Reid takes it 83 yards for the evening's first touchdown. Will that be the game-changing moment?
Virginia Tech, part of their game plan. You talk to them, you listen to them all week. Make them drive the whole field, no big plays. There is a huge one.
And you wonder now, have the Seminoles pushed all the chips into the middle of the table?
There's a lot of
Bobby Bowden all in right now against Frank Beamer. He has not scored many offensive touchdowns. Only a couple in the last 4 games for the Noles. They get a big punt return. He somehow had the feeling that the kicking game would be the turning point in this football game with these two teams. Now it is the Hokies' turn. Royal and Morgan. A little bit deeper this time, and he will not bring this one out. So Gano, an All-American high school kicker, does an excellent job and gets the tomahawk chop going. But notice that he got the tee first, folks. Didn't leave the tee out there.
How good a job is Florida State's defense going against Virginia Tech? The last 2 games, Tech has rushed for 580 yards combined. Today in this football game, 20 rushes for 8 yards.
Mike Emo is the running back. Virginia Tech has tried 3 running backs. No success yet. And not this time either. And the defensive front for Mickey Andrews deserves a lot of credit for what is transpiring down there at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, those linebackers and those front 3 and 4 guys have put the pressure on Marcus Vick. Remember the game plan, stick Vick. They've hit him 10 times, they've rushed him, they've hurried him 8 times, and they've sacked him 4 times, and they've got him throwing high now, even when guys are wide open across the middle of the field.
Freshman Trevor Ford has checked in at corner on the right side. He's matched up against Clowney. Bryant is out right now. Nemo is straight ahead. Battles for about 4 yards. Third down coming up. Sam McGrew. And again, Mickey Andrews has used 18, 19, 20 different Noles on defense here tonight. Boston checks in. Hayes checks in. The freshman stays on the corner.
And this is not supposed to be a deep Florida State defense. Injured at defensive end, injured at corner, and they're still playing that many players.
McGrath is back at center. Montgomery at guard. Forced out of the pocket. On the move, throws complete to midfield to Clowney, who breaks the tackle. Didn't go down. No, they say the knee was down. So it is. There's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Question, what was he past the line of scrimmage when he threw that football? It was very close.
He was over it, according to that.
Yep.
The line of scrimmage now was the 24-yard line.
Yeah, pressure up the front. Vick used his feet to get outside of it, but just when he got there, there's the 25. The ball was the 20. Oh, there's a 15. Now he comes upfield. There's the lineman right there. Wow. Boy, I'll tell you. And that flag, that was so close.
So is that reviewable?
No, you know what the call was, Brent? There was
an ineligible receiver downfield.
Ineligible blocker downfield.
Yeah,
was the call.
It wasn't
you got
over the line. Yeah. That wasn't close.
Yep, they found it.
Third down. Marcus. Offensive line gives him time. Intercepted. Picked off at the 44-yard line. And he is intercepted by free safety Pat Watkins, number 22. Mickey Andrews' defense dominating here right now.
Able to put pressure and run combo coverage. Safeties are deep. There's the guy that's going to intercept this thing right there. The ball's going to go down the field. Watch the pressure. Just a three-man rush. You got the safety playing back. No way this ball can fit in there. Ball's in the air. Safety turns around and gets that pick off.
Drew Weatherford. Coming to the left, it's Rouse, the freshman. And there's a face mask penalty. The line judge has got the face mask at the 50-yard line. The additional yardage will give the Noles a first down.
And James Anderson, number 42, came out there. Kind of the hybrid safety linebacker came out on Rouse and got him. A rollout play. Effectively used in the fourth quarter against Florida last week when Weatherford was able to get outside and make some things. You can see it. Anderson's got him, and that's a 15-yarder.
And the freshman Carr checks in for the offense. Virginia Tech on its heels right now. The defense needs to make a big play. Frank Beamer's defense needs a turnover, needs something to happen here to turn the tide back in their direction. First down, ball at the 35-yard line. Play fake. Weatherford comes deep middle, complete to the 14-yard line. Dakota Baggs' second reception of the night.
But that was a perfectly thrown ball. Play action pass. You're going against the All-American right here, Jimmy Williams. Inside technique, man-to-man coverage. He closes on it, but watch how well this ball is thrown. Hits him right in the face, and nothing Williams can do about it.
Rouse and Hinshaw, the tight end, check in. Jeff Bowden's offense now with a chance to strike with a first down inside the 15-yard line.
That offensive line is giving him time to throw. Great job of the offensive line.
Henderson has done a monstrous job at left tackle. They run the counter play. Touchdown, Washington on the counter. The young man from Jacksonville. There's probably a celebration penalty. There's a flag in the end zone.
I think they're going to get Virginia Tech for unnecessary roughness.
Really?
A tackle once he was in the end zone.
Could be. He was thrown in the end zone.
How about that call by the under siege Jeff Bowden? Personal foul, yes. Virginia Tech, that tackle happened about 2 yards deep. Counter draw, look at this call. Henshaw leads at number 14, the tight end. Great cutback, that time by Leon Washington, and the tackle ends up in the end zone and he yanks him down. That's going to be a penalty.
That, for Florida State, is only the third.
Will be administered on the succeeding kickoff. Result of the play is a touchdown.
That is only the third offensive touchdown for the Seminoles in their last 4 games. But it was a beauty as Jeff Bowden dials up the counter, and the hometown fella, Leon Washington, who loves to play in this stadium, comes through. And remember, it was the turnover, the interception by Watkins that led to the touchdown. So 2 big things have happened for Florida State. The punt return touchdown, then the interception, and the counter play, and Washington takes it to the end zone. Noles are in the driver's seat. Are we looking at an upset? We'll find out. Midfield. Gano nails it. This will come out on the 20-yard line.
Well, sometimes it's the little things, and this time David Castillo, the center, watch what he does. Right here, first he fits the block, and then he comes back and blocks Vince Hall, who's covering the running Leon Washington. Watch this, fit strong side, and then wait and pick off Hall. That's what really gets the block right there, and that's what springs Leon Washington for the touchdown. Great job by David Castillo to do his assignment. Fit for the guard, come back on your man to the backside. A beautiful play by Castillo.
Mickey Andrews' defense has not let Marcus Vick settle into a comfort zone. He has not been allowed to establish anything here tonight. And the pressure is on the young quarterback. Complete to Royal. Breaks the first tackle, but hit right away at about the 24-yard line, so it'll be 2nd down and 6 for the Hokies.
Boy, it's been a great game plan. Mickey Andrews has challenged his corners to cover those wide receivers. Then he went after Marcus Vick. He probably showed him that Miami tape and said, listen, this is the blueprint, guys. Are you good enough? You're Florida State. We win with this type of defense, and they have done it tonight by pressuring Marcus Vick.
So Bryant is back in. He's playing the short corner. Carter switches out to the field for the Noles. King, the tight end, strong to the right. Royal slides in motion as a slot man now. Marcus coming down the middle to King, and incomplete. The Noles had jumped him. Hall was right there. And Jack, give me a read on that mood over there. Are they depressed at Virginia Tech? Are they enthusiastic about trying to come back? What do you sense?
Brent, I think you got to say they're shell-shocked over the course of the last couple of series. Most of the players on defense have just sat down. They're watching the big screen. There isn't a lot of talking going on. There has been some coaching. But right now, they're trying to get the number of the truck that just hit them.
3rd down and 6.
Williams over there, defensive back. Now this is a big, well, in fact, they all are now for Virginia Tech. Here's your 3rd down play. King flexes off the line, and the Noles show blitz, and there was movement in the offensive line, and they've got the offensive line flinching now, and that'll cost them 5 more yards. If it wasn't for a ricochet, folks, on a field goal, the Noles would be dealing a shutout. In case you missed it, this was the tying field goal, and it glanced off the right upright. That is Virginia Tech's only score in this game. You know, Billy Height and the rest of that Virginia Tech coaching staff, to a man, they said to me, you know what? We look at that tape and we're very uneasy about this Florida State team. We see a ton of talent out there. We don't know why they've lost 3 in a row, but we're uneasy about playing these dudes, and that's what's turning out here tonight. 3rd down now and long. Pocket holds and sort of led him a little bit too much. Emo might have looked up to see who was coming in on him. And Carter has been an outstanding cornerback here tonight. The youngsters just playing a superb game for Mickey Andrews.
Well, he really forced. That time Marcus Vick was not confident in what he saw downfield. Turned and threw that ball without really looking at his target and really wasn't accurate. Downfield, and watch him just kind of turn and throw at the same time. And obviously Orr did not come up with it.
Now the Noles know that they can get good field position here. Puts it out. Out of bounds. Do we have an upset in the making? Until now, it has been blowout Saturday. But the Noles trying to snap that 3-game losing streak and wind up in a BCS Bowl. It off to Booker. He is out of bounds. You know, we've talked a lot about Jeff Bowden, the beleaguered offensive coordinator, and we asked Drew Weatherford about Jeff Bowden. Is he responsible for what's gone wrong with the offense?
Well, if he was in control of our offensive line getting hurt and suspended, then he would be to blame, but that's not the case, and he calls plays, and we just haven't been executing is the biggest thing.
Calling a pretty good game tonight.
And the offensive line is doing a better job tonight. Now, this is a real front they're going against, and that offensive line for Florida State is winning.
Toss play, Booker. A beautifully diagrammed play to the 30-yard line. The offensive line blocked to the left, and they ran the toss to the right for 15 yards.
It's that gadget toss where they fake inside and a quick flip to the outside. Watch the fullback go inside and in a quick release by the tailback. You make a little belly fake and then you flip it out wide. Burchett doesn't even get blocked, number 96. You run right at him with a finesse play. That is a wonderful call when you're trying to finesse an aggressive defensive line.
Weatherford got a block from Washington, goes in zone, high call, out of bounds, incomplete. So it was defended by Roland Minor, the field corner, and he's shaken up. And that's Roland out of bounds there.
Roland Minor shaken up on the play for the Hokies.
Remember Victor Harris, number 1. Macho Harris has played for Minor. Both of them do play a bit. Minor, obviously more than Harris, the true freshman. Fade pass to the outside, one-on-one. You can see it, Minor's got it right there. It comes right down on his head. Right down on his forehead.
Minor bounces up. He'll take a play off. Virginia Tech and Florida State. The winner will move on to the Orange Bowl to play perhaps Penn State. We'll find out all that tomorrow. And what about the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl? What will John Junker and the gang do out there? The number 1 draft choice, Notre Dame. That's what everybody thinks. Then when it comes back to them for the 3rd pick, do they go Ohio State or do they go Oregon? It'll all unfold tomorrow. It's going to be a great quartet of BCS Bowls. The championship game is dynamite. Could have been intercepted. Fag couldn't hang on to it. And when it was deflected, Rouse did get up and make the pick on it. That's at 5 Eastern time. Tomorrow we'll all find out. Now, Bob Greasy, we noticed that when his coverage earlier today in the Big 12 championship, he guessed Oregon. I'm guessing it's not quite that clear. Down and 10. I'm also guessing that USC will open as a favorite over Texas. It is 3rd down and 10 now. And a flag comes flying. Here's a bulletin. George Hill, ever alert, always on the job. USC, a touchdown favorite, ladies and gentlemen.
Touchdown as in 7 or 6?
6. That's an extra point. That's a big touchdown to 7. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The Trojans, close to home in Pasadena. Get the magazine covers out. Get ESPN the magazine. Get Sports Illustrated. Get them all. It's going to be the most talked about college game since, well, I go back to my youth. 66, Notre Dame, Michigan State. Except the road team won't take a train to the game. 3rd down now.
And it won't end in a tie.
No. Weatherford's blitzed. Up in the air. Is that a fumble? No, it's incomplete. And Vince Hall got into the quarterback's face that time, and he's limping just a little bit. He'll come off to the sideline. His daddy played down at SMU.
Yeah, you can see now what Bud Foster's going to start to do. He can't let this game just sit idly by. He's coming after Weatherford. He's going to challenge his corners to try to match up with the wide receivers. They're going to start to come after Weatherford.
And the offense for Virginia Tech has got to do something, too, to get the heat off this defense. Here's Hall in to punt it. Now you know, Beamer loves to block an occasional punt, folks.
Number 48, Chris Hall. Deep to receive for the Hokies, number 4.
They were coming. And Hall manages to get it off, and it is caught at the 1-yard line. Watkins, the safety, catches it inside the 1-yard line.
He's supposed to jam Pat Watkins. He does not do his job, and what happens? Watkins is able to get down there on touch and catch the ball. Those little things when you're supposed to and taught to jam the gunner, he didn't do it, and it cost them field position.
99-plus yards away for Virginia Tech. On 1st down from the end zone to Jeff King, the tight end, complete, and he is down at the 12-yard line. And that should be good for a 1st and 10. Check out the pass chart.
And look at the job that Florida State has done against Marcus Vick. No big plays, nothing. All those red dots down 15 yards plus. That's a combination of pass rush and good coverage. You got 1 completion and all the rest of those reds and that red INT.
And that is the first down for the Hokies this half.
And that's the first completion of the tight end, Jeff King.
3 receivers off to the left. The screen, and it is put down by Morgan. Morgan bobbles it, and let's check in with Jack.
I want you to watch during this series and see if Marcus Vick does not pass off his back foot. That's what Kevin Rogers was scolding Marcus about. He said he wanted to stop him from doing that. They spent a lot of time on the sidelines. We'll have to watch during this series, see if the advice is taken by Marcus Vick.
Kevin Rogers is a good one. Coach Donovan McNabb at Syracuse did a great job with Brian Randall last year, and now young Marcus Vick, only his 12th start, by the way.
Now Garvin checks in, and Carter is out as the field corner. Running play. Not much doing as Watkins comes up from the safety spot and brings Cedric Humes down. All right, NBA coming up now on ABC on Christmas Day. Started at high noon Eastern time. Spurs and the Pistons from the Palace, and then go down to Miami. Lakers and the Heat. Kobe versus Shaq if Shaq is back. 3 Eastern time, and it's 3rd down and 6 here.
And with Kobe lately, it's literally been Kobe against the other team.
Isn't that the truth? Orr is now the running back for Virginia Tech. Play fake is to him. Vick stands in the pocket, waits, and incomplete. It was intended for Justin Harper, and he was defended by Garvin, who just came in off the bench and replaced Carter.
Boy, Virginia Tech is complaining after every play. Every receiver's going up to the officials. They're crying. They're asking for plays. And they've got to concentrate on doing their job and let the officials make the calls. even if you get interfered, there's nothing you can do about it. You got to fight through it.
Reid is back again on this punt. Williams is coming down as one of the gunners. Short punt, short field.
Boy, after that touchdown on the punt return, back-to-back bad punts. It was Justin Harper, number 81, the last attended pass to. He's out here. He comes in on a square end. Let's see what he's complaining about. He probably does get jostled, but at this point, in this big of a game, you can't cry about anything. Ball's thrown. Well, I don't know. You're not going to get that call. You got to come back and meet the football, and he didn't do a good job of it. Pretty good coverage, and Michael Ray Garvin, the freshman, beat you.
Overmeyer, Lundford, Castillo, Claude, and Henderson have held up remarkably well as the offensive line for the Noles here tonight. 1st and 10 on the Virginia Tech 44. Play fake from Weatherford. Deep down the far sideline. Reid, battle, got it at the 3-yard line. A remarkable catch by Willie Reid. What a play. 41 more yards, and it's 1st and goal for the Noles.
Took it away from Brandon Flowers, number 18. It's a jump ball. Flowers is in good position. Willie Reid goes up for it. Flowers goes up for it, and Reid comes down with it. One-on-one. Florida State is winning the one-on-one battles in this football game.
And he's lucky he didn't get a face mask call coming down with it. Now they're going to review this to see if his arm is underneath it. You'll take another look at it. As you know, in the college game, upstairs, the technician goes back and forth. Jack Childress will communicate with them upstairs. They're running the replay back and forth. Let us see now if he made a catch. It has to be indisputable, and you certainly can't turn it over from that angle at all. There definitely was a face mask on this play that they got away with. There was no question about that.
But did the ball hit the ground? That's what everybody's looking for.
His
He's
arm
bobbling
under it. His arm appears to be under it. That was a catch from that angle.
See his left elbow hit the ground. He comes up with it.
I think that's as good as we've got on that side. Reid is waiting.
What a play by Willie Reid, huh?
That was unbelievable. He's made 2 unbelievable plays.
And you know what? He is the small receiver. They've been throwing those jump balls to the big guys. Carr, 6'6", Rouse, 6'5". This time it's Cody Fagg, 6'3". This time they go to Willie Reid, 5'10", and he goes up and gets it.
After review by instant replay, the play on the field is confirmed. There's a catch, 1st down.
A spectacular catch by Reid after his punt return for a touchdown. If you're wondering about the face mask, even though they saw it upstairs, you cannot tack that on in this situation. That is not reviewable. So it is 1st down and goal from the 3-yard line. Booker is going to be the running back. And they're going to put the quarterback back in the shotgun. Take the counter. Weatherford will not get there because the guy who did not give ground was James Anderson, the outside linebacker, number 42. Remember, the counter play worked for a touchdown. Fake at that time. Let Weatherford keep it, and he was cut off, and it's 2nd and goal. Rouse goes out to the right. Reid is off to the left. Hinshaw, the tight end, is to the left side of the formation. Davis is your slot receiver. Straight ahead touchdown penalty is called. There is a penalty on this Booker TD run. The umpire threw it right into the middle of the line. Bringing it back. That
was a great call by Jeff Bowden. On 1st down, Virginia Tech lined up kind of in an odd look. Look at only 2 receivers to the outside here, yet there's 3 defenders, and they tried to run the quarterback wide. This time they say, you're going to put 3 guys out there. We're going to run right up the middle of the field, and we're going to go right after them.
So holding brings it back to the 11-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal from that spot. Weatherford checks the wristband. He'll have Rouse, Davis, and Reid as his wideouts. Booker stays in. Tap trying to get him under pressure, and from behind, Tap wraps him up. But there was enormous pressure. The defensive line that time just teed up the offensive line of the Noles. Sandridge got great penetration, and Tap is credited with the tackle, but his teammates did a lot of the work.
Yeah, both defensive ends came around the corner that time. They knew it was a passing situation. They just were in their track stance, and because Sandridge had to push inside, there was no place for Weatherford to go.
Davis will go to the slot to the right. Here's your 3rd down.
No safety in the middle of the field. It's all man.
Draw play to Booker. Penalty flag.
You get an interesting call here for Frank Beamer. Score is 17-3. Do you move him back if it's a holding penalty, or you decline it? Be tough to give up a field goal right here. Interesting decision.
Jack Childress is looking over at the sideline to see what they want to do.
There it is. He can't give him the field goal. He wants to keep it a 14-point game. He's going to challenge his defense to stop him again.
Holding number 63 of the offense. That's a 10-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
That's a center, Castillo, who's guilty. And, of course, a reminder that at the end of the game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team, and Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. The Dr. Pepper ACC Championship Game here on ABC, with Florida State leading Virginia Tech 17-3.
Yeah, the 17-3 score forced Frank Beamer to gamble here, to move him back, get a stop, and hope that they can get a missed field goal or a blocked field goal.
The 2 very tall receivers, Fag and Carr, are now on the field for Jeff Bowden and the Seminoles. Under enormous pressure, he overthrows Carr that time, but he really did not have much time. And Virginia Tech brought the heat, and now it will be a longer field goal for Sismacia, who trots onto the field.
Yeah, David Obermeyer, number 79, said, good job, Drew. They're coming at us with everybody. We cannot hold them out.
He kicked one on the first drive by the Noles, and this will be a 41-yarder. Banged this one. Also ran for 90 yards. Those are Alex Smith-like numbers. Now, Bobby Bowden has also been recruiting him, but Urban Meyer all over Tim Tebow, who happened to be out on the West Coast with USC today. So now, the ball on the tee for Gano, 35-yard line. Here's Royal. Penalty flag is down. Royal tries to break out, but there is a penalty way back on the 15-yard line on this play.
Brendan Hill got a block in the back right all the way back on the 15-yard line. For Virginia Tech, it's going to come all the way back.
So the 50-yard return will come back, and you know, we've got an injured player, Ingram. He's being tended to. He's getting up. Now, you know, the Noles have lost 3 in a row, 4 games overall. And we talked to hard-hitting linebacker Ernie Sims about Florida State's recent losses.
with the talent that we have, you know what I'm saying, the players that we have, this team shouldn't be losing like this. You know what I'm saying? We lost 3 ball games in a row. So, of course, we're down, but you know what I'm saying, we're in the ACC Championship. We got to look at the problem right now. We got to win this game.
Now, that was interesting because internally they said, wait a minute, we're better than this, and that's what you've been saying.
Yeah, I really thought that this team has been nicked. And sometimes you lose your confidence when you have injuries. Guys go in there, you call plays a little differently, you feel sorry for yourself a little bit. When you get beat a few times and you're going to play on national television, you have a way of saying, let's go out and play. And they're playing, they're bringing it tonight, aren't they?
And you know, their fans were quiet at the start of the game. The great fans from Virginia Tech, they were electric. Now they're a little bit quiet. And the defense has just throttled them here in the second half. Virginia Tech unable to do a thing. Marcus Vick from the end zone. Deep down the middle, incomplete. And it will be 2nd down and 10 coming up. Clowney telling the coaching staff he was open against Carter on that far side. I didn't see it, Gary, was he?
Well, I didn't either, to tell you the truth, but that's what happens when you get behind. That doesn't get the ball thrown to him, goes over and complains that the ball should have come to him. Right now, Virginia Tech has to concentrate on the fundamentals. That was a hope and a prayer play right there. Throw the ball deep on 1st down. That is not the style that Virginia Tech uses to win football games.
Extra defensive back, Ford checks in. Now they'll try the counter with Orr, trying to break him. He's to the 15. Let's check in down below with Jack.
Well, one of the things that might have helped the Seminoles, 2 guys, when they were on that losing streak was an exercise that they engaged in during the summer. It was to build confidence in one another and also to create communications, things like with your index finger, trying to lift a bamboo pole up off the ground. They call it the challenge course. There's a series of some 6 to 8 drills, and you know what? Maybe it's paid off because they do now believe in themselves. Bobby Bowden said, as injured as they were still mentally ready for this game.
All right, Jack, 3rd down and 3 for the Hokies. The 3-stepper got the 1st and 10, put it into Morgan's hands, out of bounds at the 25-yard line.
Well, just look at that. Virginia Tech leads the ACC in rushing offense, 204 yards per game. But in this football game, they do not have the confidence that they can pick it up. 3rd and short, they're throwing the ball to the outside. This is a team that wins when they run the ball, and they have not been able to run the ball.
First down. Royal to the 35-yard line. He was tripped up by Tony Carter.
That's the type of patience you have to have. Still time to run your normal offense. This offense is not a home run offense. The longest pass of the year for Virginia Tech, just 52 yards. They are methodical. They make 1st downs. They run for 1st downs. They don't go for home run balls, and tonight they've been throwing a lot of deep ones. Look at that 2nd half last week against UNC. Marcus Vick was struggling. They ran 31 times in the 2nd half.
Ran the clock out in the 4th quarter. Low snap. There's a flag. Incomplete.
Dropped a touchdown.
So Clowney had it thrown at him, and that's a good way to break a hand.
Well, he was that. So Clowney was complaining.
But there is a penalty flag back here anyway. So it would not have counted. So at the top of the hour at the Dr. Pepper ACC Championship, 2-touchdown underdog Florida State, leading at 20-3. And these great aerial shots tonight are courtesy of our friends at Outback, proud sponsor of the Outback Bowl. That's over in Tampa, across the state. And the Outback Steakhouse airship, the Bloomin' Onion 1, provides aerial coverage for sporting events across the country.
Looked like Florida State just stopped on that play, didn't they? They saw that movement was up front. They didn't even move.
Right. is at the corner. Bryant watching the boundary side. They go to the H-back. And John Kinzer is hard to bring down. That was a good run by him after the catch, number 43.
Hot receiver that time. Your H-back goes in the flat. Florida State was coming with that outside blitz. You just dump it off and make that blitzer pay with that short pass.
5 of 13 here in the second half with that one interception, which led to a Florida State touchdown. Florida State's 2 touchdowns, a punt return, Washington on a counter after the interception. State. There's a penalty flag on the play also. Florida State recovered the fumble.
Bunkley's the one that's out there, isn't he? The defensive tackle all the way out there on the quick screen. And Clowney, the guy that was complaining so much, is the guy that fumbled it and dropped the pass.
And Kyler Hall punched it out.
There was an illegal block below the waist, back toward the position of the ball by the offense. That penalty is refused. First down.
Now it is the Hokies who are coming unglued.
You see it, Clowney right there. Hall puts his helmet and hand right on the ball. And big 52 hustling from his defensive tackle spot. Gets out there and falls onto it. Bunkley. Great hustle. Florida State making all of the hustle plays in this game.
Now the young man who was kicked out for the last week's game rather, and suspended for the first half, Lewis, is in at right guard for Florida State. He's got a fine future. And he'll be going downfield on the screen, but it was the tackle who could not get the block that time on Xavier Udeby. That's the first time we've said Udeby's name here tonight, and 11 has been rather quiet. Udeby and Hall are 2 very talented linebackers, and Hall has been active. He's a leading tackler, and Udeby makes a fine play that time. He's a very athletic linebacker. Second down and 12. Washington back in as the running back. And it's complete to Carr. Carr to the 11-yard line as the corner, I believe it was Flowers. There's a penalty flag late. Flowers fanned on the tackle.
Flowers, poor angle to come. Remember, that is Roland Minor's position. He went out when he came on that fade pass and he landed on his head. And Flowers gets beat on the fade pass, and now on a hitch pass, he gives up another big play.
Face mask will be tacked on.
Look at just a little quick out. Poor angle, overruns it, doesn't even touch him. Flat football, he wouldn't have had him. And a face mask incidental in the end of it, coming across by, I think it was Justin Hamilton.
Weatherford checks the wristband after getting the signal from the sideline. First down and goal.
3 men go out wide with the 2 receivers again. You see it, 3 defenders out here, just 2 defenders. The ball should be run right up.
Washington, he is wrestled down by Hall at the 5-yard line.
Last time down here, remember Florida State got it into the end zone, but they held on the play. Then had another holding penalty, but converted on the field goal.
Second down and goal from the 6. Both of the tall receivers are in. Fag and Carr if they try the fade. Looking for Carr, come back middle, touchdown, Davis. Beautiful work by Weatherford. Check to the left and come back to Davis.
emptied out the backfield, four-man rush, and I gotta say, Weatherford did a great job, but how about that offensive line? He was battered last week by Florida, but you give Drew Weatherford time. As Jack said, he talked the talk before the game, and now he's walking the walk in this game.
This is Mesha. Tacks on the extra point.
You can see it. Watch that offensive line. Holds him out, steps in, nobody in his face, and delivers a perfect throw to Chris Davis. Leading receiver, leading touchdown, comes right inside, breaks him inside right here. Watch it. Comes up, stems, right there, just beats him inside. Easy play, nice route. Came up straight and then sharp cut inside.
That's our bloomin' onion eye view. High above Waltell, and we look down on it. You know, we've got the ball on the tee for Gano again on the 35. I'll take you back to that Gator game. This is going to be returnable, I believe. Royals coming. Brought down at the 25. It was 7-0. Noles were driving, folks, and then disaster. Blocked field goal, and watch. One hopper to the shortstop, and he takes it to the end zone, and that led to the 34-7 route. Now, I'm not saying that it would have gone the other way, but it's amazing how when you look back in the course of a football game at things that happen early to teams, coaches don't like to say much about it, alibis, but that really changed. When you go from a possible 7-3 to a 14-0 and you're digging out uphill in a place like the Swamp, it could be trouble city. And that's what happened. They started to turn the ball over in that game. First down and 10. Marcus Vick got time. Incomplete. It's waved off.
Complaining again.
And Hyman is up.
Intended for number 19, Josh Hyman.
And a reminder, Saturday, December 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern, ESPN HD Codebreakers. And that is the movie that explores that 1950 cheating scandal involving the football team at West Point. The great Coach Blake, his son was caught up in that. And that really set that West Point football team back. That's a great historical story about college football, and I understand they did a good job with it.
Josh Hyman's catch or non-catch will be reviewed now. Comeback throw to the outside. Let's see. Paul's kind of diving. Can't tell if it bounces off his hands or the grounds on the first look.
To turn it over, it'd have to be indisputable.
Boy, it looked like the toe of the football hit the ground, didn't it? Yeah, it looked like it to me.
I mean, that certainly is not indisputable under any circumstance. Gary, I don't remember the Hokies being across midfield this half. Do you?
I don't either, no. They've had tough. They've had bad field position. Remember, the punt down to the 1 yard line.
Yeah, that's confirmed.
Wow.
George said that over here.
After further review, instant replay confirms the call on the field. The pass was incomplete.
Virginia Tech has just spent too much time arguing with the referees. They need to settle down if they have any chance of getting back in this football game.
The other thing that we note is that their wide receivers are blanketed in this game. When that ball is thrown, there is a knoll right on top of them. There is no separation. Now King, the tight end, is to the right side of the formation. Down the middle, there it is, broken up again, and there were two garnet and gold jerseys there that time. And Kyler Hall, the senior Rover, able to knock it away.
Sam McGrew, the middle linebacker, was covering the tight end on the play. It was just thrown too late, Brent. That was that cover two defense The safeties are going to go wide, tight end down the middle. There's the guys that are going to cover. That ball's got to go about 18 yards deep. This ball's going to go about 25 yards deep, and that allows the safety to come back in and make the play. Too late on the throw.
Third down and 10. 3 rush linemen this time. And the catch is made, and if he gets a spot, he's got a first down. I believe he's going to get it.
Yeah, I think
Good
he
spot,
went across.
first and 10, and Morgan, number 17, was the receiver.
Ball was thrown low that time to Morgan. Perfect spot over the middle of the field, and Morgan came down and caught that one cleanly.
Mickey Andrews and the Florida State defense, they set the tempo here tonight. Ready for the fourth quarter. Virginia Tech with a first down coming out from their own 37-yard line. And Marcus Vick, incomplete, and again a very well-covered receiver. Carter was all over him, and you know, Gary, it's just amazing when you deal with youngsters how they're resilient. You know, the world would have thought that everything's crashing in on Florida State, and we were saying, oh, how can they win against this very talented Virginia Tech team? And they turned it around with that defense.
Well, in Tallahassee, there it was crashing in. I think it was. Well, you know what? I think they just went back to their basics. They went to Florida State football. Attack the quarterback, stop the running game. That's how Florida State has won for years. And they've been able to come back and do that. Mickey Andrews, his defense has taken charge of this football game and has really not let Virginia Tech have any space.
That's the face of a football coach, folks. We got a timeout on the field. And our Dr. Pepper stats through 3 quarters. Virginia Tech has been held to 23 rush yards. Not that Florida State has run the ball, but they did rush for a touchdown. Pass yards, Florida State. Total yards there. And take a look at your third down conversions. If you looked at those numbers, you would say it'd be closer.
I was going to say, look at this. Time of possession, they always say that's a big indicator. Look at that, 10 minutes more for Virginia Tech, but there's no punt return in there, is there?
Exactly, the punt return yardage. Jack, they're going to feel pretty good down there on the defensive sideline.
Well, and you and Gary have been talking about the great job that Mickey Andrews has been doing all night. Well, he has really been coaching up this defense. Each and every time that they've come off the field, he's tried to fire them up, and you know Mickey can get kind of fiery. And one of the things that I noticed, though, Brent, what he did in the last series, he told his safeties and he told his corners, look, if you guys have to go and try and shut someone down on a very long pass attempt, come off the field immediately. He said, don't wait for me to take you off. You come off and we'll substitute. He wants to keep his guys fresh in this final quarter.
And the reason why they got into this game, you go back to the Boston College game, it well could have been the first play of that game. BC had the ball, and watch Quentin Porter stumble here. And as he stumbles, he throws the pass. A.J. Nicholson picks it off. 19 yards for a touchdown. Now he intercepted another one after that. Yes, BC did bounce back in the game, but it was the defense that set the tone. Had BC won that game, they would have been here tonight against woulda, coulda, shoulda, I guess, huh?
You know what's also interesting is the football seniors went to Bobby Bowden and said, we'd like to practice again in pads. They went 6 weeks without practicing in pads because of injuries. They put them on this Tuesday in practice, and they look like they're more in tempo of the game earlier than they were against Florida.
3 rush linemen. Vick all day. Couldn't find anybody open. Sims is in there, along with Boston, and down he goes. But those receivers were well covered again.
8 men back, 3 men rush, plenty of time, but that secondary now is gaining confidence, and I think this score, 27-3, when you're playing prevent with more than a 7-point game, you're much more comfortable keeping those things in front of you.
3 down again. Flare to the side, but this will be well short of the first down. Mike Emo back in as the running back. Emo was due to start here tonight, but Cedric Humes slid in as the starter, and then Emo came in the second series.
That just does not endear you to your football team to your wide receivers or to your offensive coordinator on 3rd and long to dump it off to your running back like that. 3-man rush, and you're dumping it off like that. You do not have a lot of friends as a quarterback.
Schmidt back to punt it again. They got close that time, and here's Reid. Fair catch signaled for on the 15-yard. A penalty flag is down.
Probably from that deep, probably 12 men on the field. Participation again? Because that was thrown right at the snap.
Tried that ploy once in the first half.
And it didn't work again. Wow. You're getting the football back on that play.
Yeah, that's a break. It was 4th and 6.
Right.
Participation by more than 11 players by the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Yardage results in a first down.
Well, you're in complete control of this football game, and that's a substitution mistake that could really haunt you.
Coach would like a little explanation there. The chairman of the board is just not too happy. That's not good, he said down there. It's 11. Mickey, what is that? Mickey, that you're in charge of that particular. What happened?
Well, I'm surprised the coach on the field wasn't counting and take a timeout. Remember, coaches on the sidelines can't signal timeout.
The return man back there can count for you too, right? So with the 1st and 10 for Marcus Vick. He takes it off on a quarterback draw. Right up the middle, breaks inside the 30. That probably was his best run of the day. So that penalty kept it moving.
Keeps them in the football game. They crossed the 50-yard line. First time in the half because of the penalty. And all of a sudden the quarterback draw right up the gut. This is called 16-yarder. And thought he was going to break it here, but a good tackle by Roger Williams saved the play.
To a 4-man rush. Incomplete, intended for Royal.
Gotta run
Davis,
through it.
the middle linebacker, the defender.
Gotta run through it if you're a wide receiver. That time, Royal felt Buster Davis, number 7, coming in on that square end and just stopped on the play. Buster Davis, the middle linebacker, plays that deep, what they call a Tampa 2, and so many colleges are playing now. He's back, lined up about 8 yards deep, and just backs up on the play and takes those crossing routes.
Here's Marcus going end zone, touchdown Morgan. Got in behind Bryant. Perfectly thrown ball, and 12 men on the field. Keeps the Hokie drive alive. The 28-yard touchdown strike.
Yeah, it keeps this game alive, too, for Virginia Tech. They needed a score on that series. That time, Roger Williams took a terrible angle. The free safety, he thought it was going to be a square in, and he bit on the square in. It was a post right behind him.
They'll go for 2 here.
That would make it a 16-point game if they got it.
Humes is the running back. Yes, what a great catch. In the back of the end zone, they're calling him out. I thought he was down.
I don't think he came up with the ball. The ball's there.
If the ball was loose, no catch. He did appear to get the 1 foot down.
I thought it was very close, too. Forced out in college football, you are out. NFL, if you're forced out, you are in.
So first we have a look at the touchdown as Morgan runs a beautiful post. Bryant backing up.
You could see
He's
it.
beaten.
Williams falls down on the play to open it up, and here's the 2-pointer. Got it.
If he had the ball had come out.
Yeah, the ball. It looks
if
like
the ball was loose in his hands, there was no question about the 1 foot down. I saw that.
Right, but the official's feeling incomplete. It looked like he had it till he came down. Puts it up top where it had to go. He's got it.
Even as we tell you this, it's being reviewed upstairs. And the question is, did he have control of the ball with the right arm as he was swinging around? Now, I have to give the official somewhat the benefit of the doubt. He's looking right at it.
Yep, standing right there, isn't he?
He has a much better view, but
did look to me that he had his foot down when the ball was still up in the air and then it was jarred after. That's the way it looked to me. I don't know if we got enough to overturn that call, though.
He's got the football right there.
Yep. And does his
There's the foot down. His question is, did he have control?
I think that's a catch.
12 men on the field against the Seminoles. That led to both of their field goal and their touchdown. So the penalty keeps both scoring drives alive. Now they need the ball back here. John Dunleavy with the ball on the tee at the 35-yard line. 13:29 to go in regulation. From the 10-yard line, Willie Reid to the 22.
Drew Weatherford has been given time to throw, and he has been effective, going deep, spreading the ball out. Look, not a lot of throws in the middle of the field because Virginia Tech plays a lot of man-to-man coverage. He throws the ball to the outside and is working on those wide receivers against the corners.
So Weatherford back into the shotgun. Young Lewis stays in at right guard in the offensive line. Snaps off a completion for another 5 yards on that far side to Fag. And it'll bring up a second down here.
Number 81 to 39. Willie Williams with the tackle.
So Drew Weatherford, the young man from Texas, grew up in a big family. Very highly rated high school quarterback. Beat out Xavier Lee for the starting job over in Tallahassee. Brings another one, this one to Davis. And let's take a closer look at the young man, Drew Weatherford.
My favorite food is Mexican food because I'm from Texas, and the Mexican food there is just unbelievable. My favorite movie is Braveheart because I really respect William Wallace and we're actually related to him. My favorite television show is Seinfeld because it's the most brilliant show ever created.
The youngster's got good taste. Mexican food and Seinfeld. Our producer, Bob Goodrich, would say a true Texan that young man is. Third down. Incomplete.
Had him, too. Just a little wide on the throw that time. Same play that they scored the touchdown on, but this time Chris Davis couldn't come up with it.
So we're at the bottom of the hour, 11:30. It has been blowout Saturday, but here it is a shocker. 2-touchdown underdog Florida State. 14-point underdog, beating up on Virginia Tech with the winner due to head down to the Orange Bowl, the FedEx Orange Bowl. Bobby Bowden, ended the season with 3 consecutive losses, trying to snap that losing streak. I don't believe he's ever lost 4 in a row over there at Tallahassee. Here's Royal, driven back inside the 25, and a terrific tackle by Watkins, who has been spectacular here tonight. Down to punt once inside the 1-yard line. Now that great stop. Timeout. Dr. Pepper ACC Championship. Marcus Vick trying to rally the Hokies. And Morgan, who scored the touchdown, is out of bounds after a 5-yard gain. And Jack, what are the Orange Bowl folks telling you?
Well, what they've told me is they've given me the official invitation to the Orange Bowl. This Orange Ball will be presented to the winner of this game, and it will be the ACC representative that'll play in the FedEx Orange Bowl. Now, the thing I got to remember is to give it back to the Orange Bowl committee, or we might be in trouble.
Indeed. Right now, of course, they'd head for the Knowles locker room, but we've still got 11:47 to go. And Virginia Tech, a team giving up only 10.6 points a game, has been hit with 27 here tonight. Deep, got a man open. Morgan juggles it.
Oh, my God. That's another touchdown. Last time it was Clowney. This time, Josh Morgan. A beautiful play by Vick to look out to his right like he's going to throw it. Kyler Hall, number 41, gives up on the play. The safety and lets Morgan run right by him, and he just bats it. Oh, my.
The Clowney play would have been called back, right?
Yes. But he didn't know it, right? This one was a touchdown all the way.
3rd down and 7. Wow. Going to go long down that sideline again and pushed out of bounds. And there is a penalty flag on this.
Yeah, that one was pretty obvious.
He was ridden out of bounds on this one. So that's a 15-yarder and an automatic first down.
Yeah, the side judge might not have got out there alive if he didn't call that one, because that was right on the sideline over by Virginia Tech, and there were 50 guys calling that one. Virginia Tech has been going deep. You can see it. Trevor Ford is in coverage this time. Gives a shove to David Clowney on the field, and that was pretty easy. He was just jostled so much he couldn't get to the flag, the official. Kevin Steele standing next to Mickey Andrews right there.
His specialty, the linebackers on that defense, was once the head coach at Baylor, a longtime assistant coach also in the National Football League. Some have said if they ever do change head coaches, and when will that be? 20 more years over at Tallahassee, that he will be a serious candidate. 1st down and 10. Here comes the blitz. There's the long ball again. Morgan hangs on. How about that? The easy one he bats around. The tougher one he catches at the 9-yard line, and that's a 50-yard gain.
Does Vick have a flick of the wrist on this one? He's under intense pressure and just throws this ball 50 yards in the air. Under pressure, J.R. Bryant stumbles at the end of the play. Deep ball thrown, and another, look at Vick, just under pressure, can feel it from 2 guys, and just flicks another beautiful ball.
Tight end is to the right. Morgan is in motion. Vick intercepted in the end zone, but there's a penalty flag. Pass was picked off by Pat Watkins, but there is a penalty flag.
It looked like Justin Harper was saying he got held on the play. The wide receiver to the side of the field.
Yes, and that would be Jeff King if he was overhearing it right.
Yes.
Says this one's going against the Knowles. Automatic 1st down.
To the outside, number 90 is going to run the flag route on the play. You see Sims coming in, pressure inside from Davis. The ball's woefully again underthrown on the play, but to the corner side, Justin Harper was held.
Foul occurred against an eligible pass receiver. The penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
Holding against one of those eligible pass receivers. Let's see if this was it. Trevor Ford, they call, yes, he grabbed his jersey. There it is right there, number 21. And Justin Harper was correct, and that was the right call.
1st down and goal. Harper and Morgan to the left. Clowney to the right. Marcus wants the quarterback draw to the end zone. Touchdown, Virginia Tech, and there's a penalty flag.
going to be celebration. It's a huge penalty right there because Frank Beamer wanted to go for 2. Now, I think Bobby should back him up here. Right here and not take it on the kickoff. It's his option.
After the touchdown, there was a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike, number 5 of the offense. That penalty is accepted and will be administered on the succeeding kickoff. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Quarterback draw. What will happen here now with this quarterback draw and the touchdown, I think Frank Beamer will still go for it.
You know what? He hurt himself.
Yes, he did.
Stuck it right into the ankle. Shaking it off and checking a wristband to see what 2-point play they want here. But you know, is there a little hitch in the giddy up? I mean, I can't tell for sure, but he sure as heck hit it, didn't he?
See, I'm surprised that Bobby didn't take the penalty right there, because now a 2-point play makes it a 10-point game. 7-3 could tie it.
Is the running back. Picked off. No 2-point conversion as Tony Carter snags it in the end zone. And now 15 yards closer on the kickoff.
And look at this ankle bothered him on this sprint out. He did not have that burst. There's the touchdown play right here. He jumps up, slams the ball, and twists his ankle, kind of springs it just a little bit. And now on the 2-point play, when he tries to sprint out, he does not have that burst. Just can't quite get out there like usual. Throws it out, and it's just eaten up to the outside.
Reid has been a big playmaker, a big part of the Seminole lead here tonight. And he's getting a chance again. 25. Down at the 30-yard line in our Pacific Life game summary. It was tied at 3 at the intermission. Willie Reid then scored the game's first touchdown on this 83-yard punt return. Then the interception by Watkins, and on the counter, Leon Washington ran it in, and they led 17-3. And now it's 27-15, and Gary, they do need to take some time off this clock. There's a lot of time left.
And they have not shown they can run the ball all game. A few incompletions with 10 minutes to go would give Virginia Tech a lot of time.
So they set the screen to Washington. There's nobody over there to help out, really. And just for a yard, it's just basically a dump off in the flat.
Yeah, it was basically.
And the DB reads it.
Yeah, basically a pass running play is what it was. Something so safe, but Virginia Tech is going to gobble those things up.
And now we've got another lineman down, and Florida State can ill afford to lose.
Is that Castillo?
Another offensive lineman.
Oh boy, it is Castillo, the center.
We have an injury, take him out of the field.
Well, tomorrow at 5 Eastern, the Tostitos BCS Selection Sunday. Who will play the winner of this game in the Orange Bowl? Will it be Joe Pa? How about Joe Paterno and Bobby Bowden, huh? That would be some matchup. That's a possibility. And what about out at the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl? Notre Dame, they seem to be the apple of everybody's eye. And will they play Ohio State or Oregon of the Pac-10?
This is a tough injury for Florida State here, Brent, because when you look at the preseason depth chart, the backup center to Castillo is John Frady.
Yeah, but he's out.
You got it. The backup guy is out too, so you're down to your number 3 center on this thing.
So Atkins is in, and he played late in the game against Duke. His brother, Baraka Atkins, is a defensive lineman down at Miami. And this is a young man that made the all-academic team. There he is right there. Baraka's his brother. We saw him last week. The Cavaliers, Virginia. Out of Sarasota, a freshman. What a spot.
So let's
You
see.
don't think they won't try to tee him up?
You bet. So now you're playing with your second team tackle, your third team center, your second team and third team guard. Yeah.
And that's what's at stake. The inaugural championship trophy. Second down. Baraka's first responsibility is to get the ball into the quarterback's hands, and they'll move Weatherford under center. They'll take away the pressure of the shotgun to start this with Atkins. They'll run the toss play to Washington on a stop and go, going no place. As Hall, he had cut off the route, and when he doubled back, number 9 got himself another tackle.
Yeah, the only good thing about Watkins doubling back there, and I think it was a smart move, he wasn't going to pick it up, is he didn't go out of bounds. So I think he didn't want to go out. He doubled back and just said, I'm not going anywhere anyway. Let's not stop the clock. Yeah, we might have seen the end of the shotgun.
Yeah,
we might have seen the
very
end
successful.
of it. Yep.
Weatherford's been throwing from the shotgun. Trying to run now with Leon Washington again, and nothing doing. 3 and out. Here comes the punt. And the fans over on the Virginia Tech side are getting a little frisky. Lewis making the stop, number 56. They would love to see Royal get something going, or maybe even try to block this punt. They've got time. They've got 9 minutes, but they're down by 12 points. They need a couple of touchdowns.
Remember, it was 27-3, and Florida State was getting the ball back when they had 12 men on the field to prolong that drive.
Look at how they perform. They set that protective cup to protect on this punt. Clark Tech is coming. Royal on the high hop. Spins. Looking for an alley on the right. To the 30-yard line, where Marcus Vick will go back to work again. Down 12. 3 down linemen, Marcus Vick. And there's a penalty flag. Penalty flag is thrown. Vick is tackled at the 32-yard line. That was Trevor Ford, the youngster, bringing him down. So this is against the offense. We've mentioned that national championship game. The year 2000, Michael Vick rushed for 97 yards at a TD, threw for 225 at a TD, but Florida State won the game. Chris Winkie, Peter Warwick was on that team, and Coach Bowden hoisted the trophy afterwards.
Yeah, even though Florida State won that game, I thought Virginia Tech played about as well as they could in that game. They gave it all they had in that one. That was a good Florida State team.
First down and 20 after the penalty. 3 rushmen for Mickey Andrews. Marcus Vick gets it off to King, and he gets 5 back. And it'll be second down, and that was Kyler Hall, the rover.
And a good job by Hall keeping King in bounds on that play, too. He hit him, he tackled him, and did not allow King to get out of bounds.
It's starting to sound like Tallahassee. I mean, the war chant has come alive here in Jacksonville. A lot of Florida State graduates live over here in this area. Marcus is in trouble, dances back, throws it away.
Well, that'll be out of the pocket. Out of the pocket. Yep. He had to go across the line of scrimmage. He was out of the pocket. Does it look like he's running freely to you, or is he still a bit gimpy? Looks to me like he's just a bit gimpy.
Pressure from Burston, who applied the heat that time. Third down and 7 minutes on that clock. Clowney is off to the right. King is going to line up in the backfield. and he'll go out late as a safety valve. Doesn't matter. Sacked by the big fella. Broderick Bunkley, a first-rounder for sure. What a future he has in the NFL.
Three-man rush. Just 3 Seminoles. 1, 2, and 3 right there. Look at this. Five players inside, and Bunkley runs right over the center, Will Montgomery, all ACC, and runs right over him.
Nick Schmidt is in the punt. Here's Reid. And they'll have a first down right there.
Willie Reid on the front. Number 40. Blake Warren.
Florida State now, I think, is going to, if they do throw the ball, it'll be very, very safe. They got to take the clock out of this game, run the ball, even if they punt it after 3 downs. Because of the 12-point game and not a 10-point game, I think they take their chances. You can't make a silly mistake throwing the ball and stop the clock right now.
Castillo is back on the field, number 63. They'll still keep Weatherford right underneath center. They'll try to run Washington. Nothing doing. The defensive line and a DB. So when you start to try to run the ball, number 11 steps in, and there is Castillo who has returned. Now that looks a warrior. I mean, look at that. There's tape down there on the right ankle.
Left wrist.
Look at the wrist.
Yeah.
Now look at the finger on the right hand. Wait till he snapped. He's all academic player. He'll lead him up to the line. Weatherford will look at that wristband. Got his plays right there. Here comes Castillo. Just look at that.
He'll have to take oral exams. He doesn't have enough strength to hold the pencil.
That's unbelievable. And there's nothing doing as Powell, defensive lineman, makes
Virginia
a stop.
Tech will start using their timeouts now. Frank Beamer ran right out there. His only chance is to get a stop and use his offense to stop the clock using his last timeouts. Virginia Tech will take it, and Frank did take it. Good strategy.
Well, here's our mad move of this inaugural ACC Championship Game, folks. As selected by our fine technicians. Here it is. The mad
An interception, tackles. He has been a real force in this game. The senior has really showed up. Playing every play at safety and covering punts.
Additionally, the game's most valuable player.
Got a moment here. Let me thank the executive producer of ABC Sports, Mike Pearl, the senior producer, Bob Toms, senior VP of programming, Lauren Matthews is here tonight, coordinating producer of ABC's college football, Bob Goodrich. He produced the game, directed by Steve Bime, and he's directed this game with a big smile on his face, the number 1 USC fan with our group. The TD, Randy Hargrove. Good job with high def, Randy. Associate producer, Will O'Toole. Associate director, Brian Fay. Production assistant, Stan Barr, Julie Norman. Production manager, Kelly Nagy. Our technical manager, Mark Towie. And the manager of remote operations, Jay Gleason. Thanks to one and all down there in the truck. Third down. Weatherford back in the gun. Here comes the blitz, linebacker blitz this time. Weatherford gets it off. And Washington to midfield, but it'll be short of the first down. Let me check that. That was Chris Davis.
Virginia Tech will use their last timeout of the football game, and a smart one. They had to get that play stopped. They'll get the ball back with an opportunity to run it down and an onside kick.
So we'll take a quick break and then come back and see what Coach Beamer wants to come up with here.
ACC sporting events are fun and exciting for everyone. A time to show enthusiasm for the game, both players and fans alike. However, some behavior has shifted focus away from the spirit of the games. At the Atlantic Coast Conference, fairness and sportsmanship has been our goal for more than 50 years. And across the ACC, we're always working hard to achieve this goal. It's an important part of what we do. Sportsmanship, the ultimate goal.
5:27 to go, and we've got a moment, so let's talk a little bit about our IBM Star Watch here tonight. Gary, what do you got for us?
Well, this game has got a lot of different plays in it, but the one that broke it open was Reid, I think, on that punt return. Had a couple nice catch down there on that alley-oop pass. Willie Reid really turned the game with that punt return, an 83-yarder, and you can see he has taken the game. The big play was the goal that Virginia Tech wanted to stop, and Willie Reid provided that big play for Florida State.
So it is midnight as we turn to Sunday. And with Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, I'm Brett Musburger. Chris Hall is back to punt. You know that Virginia Tech would love to do a Frank Beamer special right here. Almost got there. He got it off. Williams was closing in that time. A beautiful punt under enormous pressure inside the 10-yard line. How about that special teams play tonight by Florida State?
Look at this bad snap on the play and the great catch. Great play that time, right into Jimmy Williams. The bad snap made it, and he punted it right under his hands. That was a huge catch and punt, because that was almost disaster.
A 43-yard punt. Chris Hall, whose half-brother, Brent Bowden, is a freshman punter on Virginia Tech. We talked to both of them prior to the game.
That was a huge catch by Hall. Wasn't it something? Because that snap was wickedly bad.
Now, Virginia Tech with 5:14. They need a pair of touchdowns, down 27-15. Marcus needs to strike long and quick. From behind, fumble! Virginia Tech has got it back as big number 76, Brown, the right tackle, recovers it. Made like a fullback, didn't he, when he scooped that baby?
Well, nothing he could do. His guy, when Marcus Vick started to run out of the pocket, was the one who came and got it. I think it was Timmons who got the sack on the play and forced that fumble.
Second down. Incomplete. Big Ernie Sims, number 34. He brought it that time, didn't he?
He told me out on the field, Brent, before the game, he goes, you know, I love being the underdog. It doesn't happen that much at Florida State.
I'd say.
And he said his goal, we talked to him yesterday, was to provide some sticks. And that was a huge one.
Yeah, you don't get Mr. Bowden very often as an underdog, but he can be lethal. Third down and 11. Picked up the first down on this play. So a big third down pass play by Marcus Vick and Cedric Humes. And let's check in with Jack on Bobby Bowden.
Well, earlier in the week, Brent, you know, with all of the fire that the Bowden family's been under down in Tallahassee, Bobby Bowden went to the phone and dialed up, of all people, Frank Beamer. You see, the Virginia Tech Hokies had a similar situation a couple of years ago. He chatted with Frank as to how to turn things around. Asked, what did you do?
It must have worked, I'd say. Morgan was well covered over here on this side. And that was Hall, the rover.
Florida State defense is set up to keep everything in the middle of the field. When you try to throw the ball to the outside, the defenders are right there.
The Seminoles are 3:57 away from a trip to the FedEx Orange Bowl. And that security guard, Jack Arute, for Bobby Bowden, won't have to worry about going to Boise, Idaho. What a setup that would have been. Boise State would have jumped all over him out there in that weather. Second down and 10. Scrambling.
No, that was a called quarterback draw. Only was bringing 2 players with 3:45 to go. Tough to run the ball.
4-yard gain. Third down and 6.
Third down and 6. Morgan wraps up another one for a first down.
Big pass complete for number 17, Josh Morgan.
The ball was thrown over the middle. That's where you have to throw the ball, run to win. The strategy was throw to win, but they did do it on defense. They kept Marcus Vick in pressure all game. They sacked him, they hit him. It was Florida State defense, wasn't it?
Absolutely, from the beginning.
Yep, it was Florida State.
Again. The punt return by Reid, I agree, turned this game around. Stepping away is Marcus Vick firing, and Jeff King working the sideline. And that's inside the 45-yard line, so it keeps it alive here with 2:55. Well, let's see, they wave it off. I thought he had it. They said he was out.
Ball was thrown up top. Jeff King played a little basketball, and the basketball team comes down. Well, it must have been his toe on the line. Because his heel wasn't. Nice catch. Jeff King's going to be a good NFL football player.
Second down and 10, and
going to review it. King to the sideline. Let's see if his toe did hit the line, because he did catch the ball cleanly. He's got the ball.
toe.
Could you tell from that?
Toe.
I know.
I mean, the whole sideline. Help me out.
Really? You
I mean,
see that?
Every guy in that jersey down there. It's toe right there.
Well, that was all Florida State guys.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I forgot.
Well, I couldn't see it that clear.
All right, the bloomin' onion view.
This should help. We'll go up higher. We'll go to the bloom.
Here comes the bloomin' onion view.
Let's see if we can see any green.
Uh-oh.
Toe. I think his toe's on the line. Toes on the line. He's size 13.
Is that what I said?
That was a guess. We didn't even see it till then. See it? Look at those big feet. Basketball feet.
You see the grass stain there, Gary? That's all you do.
Well, wouldn't it have been chalk? It would have been chalk.
Chalk on the grass.
Oh.
You see? It's the deal.
After further review, the call on the field is confirmed. The out of bounds, there was no catch.
Frank is thinking, what's a guy got to do to get an instant replay?
What's a guy got to do to get $15 million?
Big payoff if you go to the BCS. Of course, it is split amongst the conference teams, except in the case of Notre Dame, and this will be the final year of that particular contract. So they are drooling at the prospect of going down to Tempe, as it's going to be broken up and should have been intercepted by Davis. The linebacker had dropped off deep, and he knows it. Thought he had it.
Well, he made a great play on it, though, Brent. I mean, he was up stretched as high as he could and tipped that ball. The middle linebacker was back about 18 yards. That would have been he'd be playing wide receiver. He could catch him like that. That was a nice play by Davis. There have been some drop balls. I can't give him a drop on that one.
37.
He's been playing that middle center field all game.
3rd and 10. Fetch. Humes is right on the line for a first down. Jack's probably going to have to, he called timeout and measure on this one.
So first down would stop the clock. Tech gets the huddle while they're doing it. If it's short, they'll have a play, and if it's a first down, they should have a play.
Just got it. 2:30. So let's see Davis as he drops off. He's deep now.
Yeah, it was nice.
Would have been a tough catch.
Yeah, nice play though by him, wasn't it? Yep, nice play.
First down and 10. King, and he had to reach high for it too. So it is second down, and Marcus is throwing the ball high a little bit here.
Yeah, on that one, it was that 4 vertical down the field, and Jeff King showed a lot of guts going up for that one because he knew that ball sailed, and he was going to get hit no matter what happened on that play.
Virginia Tech needs a quick score. Onside kick.
The linebackers and the short safeties for Florida State are dropping it about 8 or 9 yards deep and forcing everything up and over.
Josh Hyman, one of the wide receivers. Here comes the blitz. They're coming after Marcus. Gets it off to King. The big tight end rumbles close to that 30-yard line. They didn't get there with that blitz.
Man, also going to call roughing the passer, I think, too.
They're going to tack yardage on as this keeps this drive alive big time.
Well, that was a gutsy call by Mickey there to blitz at that time right there. They had everything going in front of them, and he decided to bring the house.
15 yards to the end of the last run. First down.
Jeff King grabbed it, turned upfield, and made a big play and tacked it on at the end of it. I think it was Kyler Hall, number 41. Got the hit right at the end of the football play, and it was gone. Still a football game.
About the 20-yard line. Marcus has all kinds of time. Just short of the goal line, Royal. Now they can quickly bucket. Marcus can keep it himself here if they hurry. Inside of 2 minutes, then they need the onside kick. They've got to get ready for that. Goal line defense on the field for Mickey Andrews. Marcus behind the right side, slips through. And still, there it is, touchdown is finally signaled. Now you go back to the fact that they failed on 2 two-point conversions.
They'd love to have those 2 points.
If they had kicked the extra point, all they would have to do here is to get within field goal range is kick an extra point. But as it is, they're going to need a touchdown, even though they're going to kick for it.
Last 2 touchdowns. The call that we thought he made was called no catch, and then remember the second time Marcus Vick tweaked his knee or ankle and never got outside on a sprint out, and neither one of the 2-point plays were successful.
There you see the big lineman being helped off. Brandon Gore. So now if he goes to his normal onside kick, Dunleavy and DeFelli will come out and stand there. And the receiving team sometimes is not sure which one's going to kick it. Now, Frank has used that play in the past. And we have been around it. Jack Arute telling us at practice that he saw that play being rehearsed up in Blacksburg this week. And I'm sure that Florida State very well aware of it, and their special team, their receiving, the good hands people.
And don't you have the feeling that if Virginia Tech comes up with the football, that they're going to make a run at that end zone? They've been able to throw that ball pretty effectively against that prevent defense. And when Mickey brought the whole house coming against them, they took it and made them pay for it.
Look at the old coach sticking his head in there now.
Yeah, get the onside kick.
Get the onside kick. Don't try to do anything heroic. Just get on it.
Remember, Virginia Tech has no timeouts left.
Frank Beamer is one of the few head coaches that does all of the special teams coaching. It's the only time he comes out of the tower. He spends the periods with the team. He calls them his pride and joy.
Yeah, and they're really good too, Jack. But so too are Bobby Bowden's special teams. Good hands people are out there now. And Brandon Pace, the field goal kicker, is there along with Nick Schmidt. There are the two. And you cannot be sure. Left-footed. Did it go? It was recovered, but did it go 10 yards? Did it go 10 yards?
Nope.
No, it did not.
Nope, did not.
And it was, a DB caught it, but it was short. So that should go over.
We had illegal touching by the kicking team prior to the ball going 10 yards. The ball belongs to the receiving team. That's a spot of illegal touching.
Can't really blame anybody for Virginia Tech on this. The ball's up in the air. You don't exactly know where you are. You think you're near the line. A DB goes up and gets it. Pretty good play, but a yard and a half short. Look at that. A yard and a half short of that being successful. And now with no timeouts left, Florida State looks like they're going to take a knee.
Victory formation. Florida State is headed for the Orange Bowl. They have won the inaugural Dr. Pepper ACC Championship. And there's a penalty flag. They'll get this all sorted out. And, the Chevrolet players of the game, meanwhile, Marcus Vick for Virginia Tech and Willie Reid for Florida State. Reid really turned the game around with the 83-yard punt return for a touchdown. In recognition of their effort, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each University General Scholarship Fund. Vick, 335 passing yards, a touchdown, and he ran for 2 touchdowns.
And I'll bet you a nice game ball is going to be presented to Jeff Bowden by these offensive players, don't you think, after this football game, for all he's gone through?
He deserves it.
Yep. There goes Jeff downstairs.
Now he's got to get ready for perhaps Penn State. I think Frank's still upset about that 2-point call down in the end zone. I think Frank was still barking about that, and we've got a couple of flags here now. Things are a little testy.
Foul, unsportsmanlike, number 9 of the defense. Penalty takes the ball 15 yards, still a first down.
That is the 15th penalty on Virginia Tech, and they got rattled in this game.
Florida State was able to match the intensity and the toughness of Virginia Tech. I think that was the story of the football game.
Kicked the field goal on their first drive of the game, put 24 on the board in the third quarter. Reid's 83-yard punt return for a touchdown. Now you just want both sides to cool down here a little bit. Final
final minute here for Bobby Bowden. That's the look that he's had tonight. Sort of serene over there on the sideline. He stood up for his son Jeff, fired back. Normally doesn't do that, but he'd had enough. So the final 30 seconds. A big night for the Seminoles. They lose 3 in a row. And this is unnecessary.
It sure is.
This is just let the game end and get ready for your bowl game. The Orange Bowl is the next stop for Florida State. As we've said, perhaps it'll be Penn State as their opponent. And won't that be something? Bobby Bowden against Joe Paterno. Man, you talk about some matchups.
Those fouls offset.
The AARP Bowl. Final seconds. Congratulations to Bobby Bowden and that entire coaching staff. There come the T-shirts. They are indeed the Dr. Pepper ACC champions. There's Weatherford and Marcus down there.